we'll figure it out.
Both eyes again, Danny, you're good.
Thank you. Danny, go ahead and bring up max 2 until max 1 decides to behave. Put the warnings up. There you go. All right, so we're looking at a severe storm getting close to Wamego right now. Go ahead and zoom in on Wamego and bring up the velocity. At the top bar. Yep. BV. And there's a big blotch of a scary color going through Wamego right now. Just north of I-70. So areas like Newberry, St. George, St. George kind of behind it now at this point. St. Mary's getting even over to Topeka, could be dealing with that shortly here. If you hit the cams button there, do menu again. Cams, hit that, and hit the Wamego dot when it comes up. And you should be able to see some strong wind there in Wamego by now. There we go. So the storm is in Wamego now. The radar showed it looked like it could be 70 miles per hour or so. And earlier, when that storm was going past Flush and St. George on the CanDrive camera, it looked very nasty. So right now, it doesn't look as bad there in Wamego as it did a minute ago, but certainly the winds could still intensify there around Wamego. So 60 to 70 mile per hour winds certainly possible with that thing kind of any time. Take it back out to the radar again, if you will. So we've got that warning that goes across parts of Pottawatomie, Muncie, and the southeast part of Riley County. And it's making its way east, so it would be a good guess that Jackson County could have a warning from this shortly, even Nemaha County. We'll see if it stays south enough to get to Shawnee County, but there's also activity that's developing to the west near Salina. Overall, the feature should continue kind of moving northeast. So the chance of seeing storms in Topeka or Emporia right now is not that high, really. That activity probably staying just a bit north of the Kansas Turnpike. That's not a 100% surety, but at the moment that's how it looks, and that's how the computer models have kind of indicated it. All right, go ahead and bring me back to max 1. It's coming up. I could have waited 15 seconds before I said to do that. I'm confident it will go. There we go. That's the live look in Manhattan right now from the Stormont Vale Manhattan campus. And you can see the extremely heavy rain there on the roof of the building there. All right, let's check out the hail on this. We had 2 different hail cores that were rocking through this, and that's the current hail. That area of white's going to be the largest hail we have in this, so it hangs back a little bit on the hail zone here. That's what it's called, because it takes a couple minutes for it to actually integrate where it thinks the big hail is. So when I go back over here, just look at the bright white area. That's where we're looking at. The hail is going to be about 2 inches in diameter, or at least close to it. It's just kind of on the north side of Louisville there. And on the velocity again, you'll see that a batch of stronger winds getting near the town of Wabaunsee now. And just south of Wamego looks to be the worst of it. Went kind of just through Zinedale, developed just south of Manhattan, and is actually moving kind of to almost straight east, not moving quite southeast. And as it gets closer to the radar tower, which is just near Alma, it can kind of change how it looks, because you're actually looking at different levels of the storm. So while it looks like it's moving southeast, it may just be a different level of the storm that we're seeing. So there's a warning right now until 7 p.m. with hail about the size of $50. And we also have warning. We have warning. There's one update here. Let's see what this one says. All right, 70 mile per hour winds are mentioning with this. And it is the warning for southeast Riley and northern Wabaunsee counties going until 7 p.m. So hail the size of $50, winds to 70 miles per hour possible with this storm. Not quite sure why I'm seeing a double warning. There's a second warning to the south that's right along I-70. Is that what that is?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
just a sliver right along 70. That's interesting. All right. Well, so both warnings go till 7 o'clock. And it looks like they both go till about the same thing. Hail the size of $50, winds to 70. So, but the storm is staying north of I-70, at least once you get past exit 313. And I can see an outflow boundary there with this. It's almost to Alma at this time. By the way, the extremely strong winds with this are just south of Wamego and heading toward areas like St. Mary's and Rossville. Earlier, we were seeing rotation on these storms when they were close to Abilene. Now, lately, that has not been the case. We have not seen anything spinning lately, fortunately.
We do have flash flood warnings for portions of Gary, Pottawatomie, Dickinson, and Riley counties.
Okay.
That goes until 10:45.
Thank you, Doug. So don't drive through any of the flood water, of course. We'll check out the flash flood warnings. Is it flash flood or flood?
Flash flood.
Flash flood. Okay, there we go. So we have the flash flood warnings there through Fort Riley, Junction City, and Manhattan. So Gary's in that as well, and Pottawatomie, Dickinson, Riley. Those areas have seen a lot of rain. Let's see what the warning actually says here. It says 2 to 3 inches of rain to fall, and additional 1 to 2 are possible for the warned area. So that's where the warning is, from Manhattan to Junction City and Fort Riley, kind of that burgundy box that goes from Manhattan to the southwest. The other box that's around Wamego and St. Mary's is the severe thunderstorm warning for hail the size of $50 and winds that could be up to 70 miles per hour with that. So that is the wildest storm we have there. All right.
There's a report of a foot of water on the roadways at K-State.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. So that's K-State has it's not going to be everywhere, but one of the roads there at K-State has a foot of water flowing across the road, so that's certainly dangerous. Use a lot of caution if you're in that area, of course. Just don't drive through flood water. That's extremely dangerous. What is that? The 68 mile per hour wind near Wamego just a few minutes ago as well. Or my computer's frozen up again. Can you guys take Max 2 again, please? Let me know. There you go. All right. Zoom into Wamego for me. And bring up velocity again. Report of winds there of 68 miles per hour. Just a few minutes, 6:31 p.m. So that was 8 minutes ago is when they saw that. Bring up the cams again on it, if you would. And then bring up Wamego. Let's see what it looks like now. Okay, so it's not too wild now. It's kind of blasted through. It's actually south. It was northwest of Wamego at 6:31. So it might get there. All right, go ahead and bring up the other Max 1, please. There's the hail core there, close to Wamego. I'll bring it back up. Now the computer is playing nice with me. Here we go. So the hail core on this, the kind of the biggest hail, was it's kind of northeast of Louisville, and that is crawling up toward Emmett. The stronger wind is south of that feature, and the Weather Service saying that the actual 68 mile per hour wind was 3 miles northwest of Wamego 8 minutes ago. So probably the stuff near Bellevue is probably going to be it, kind of right in here, making its way along Highway 24. There might be a camera over there from Can Drive. Those on there flush. Nope, there's not. Okay. All right, there's not a camera there from Can Drive. So let's check out the camera from the WIBW transmission tower, which is right there, just north of Maple Hill. Kind of looking over toward that. Doesn't look too wild, but Rossville, looking to the south from 78th and Davis Road is where this camera is located. I'm going to turn it and look to the right or to the west and see the storm as it's moving toward that camera. We'll bring that one up in a moment. So again, the severe storm of this is this activity from right at I-70 up to Louisville and Wamego. That is where we have the winds up to 68, 70 miles per hour, so they're saying with this. And also the possibility of hail about the size of a $50. It looks like it's probably getting closer to Emmett at this time. Back to the west, you can still see the extremely heavy rain falling in Manhattan. And Doug was mentioning a moment ago that by K-State University, we had a report of as much as a foot of water running over one of the roads there, which certainly is dangerous by itself. So if you are there around Manhattan, be extra cautious, as there is some flash flooding going on, and that extends right along this line. So that line, we have what's called training here. Training meaning that the storms kind of line up over the same area kind of over and over again, and then you wind up with rain because the storms just they hit the same area hour after hour. So those areas from Manhattan, Fort Riley, Junction City to Chapman are all in that flash flooding risk. And apparently that flash flooding scene is the one that's crashing my system whenever I bring it up. So these areas from Manhattan, really right along I-70, are in that flash flooding risk. All right, so bring up this camera now that I was going to show you from the northwest part of Shawnee County, and you can really see how impressive this storm is. That's kind of the, I bet you can see that from Topeka pretty well, actually. You can kind of see the updraft from the thing on the south side. Just an amazing looking storm there. That thing is really impressive. And the anvil there is kind of the top part of it. I kind of step out and show it to you here. So the air is rising in this area and then up 50,000 feet or so, where it kind of spreads out like a mushroom. That's what you're seeing up here, this canopy at the top. That's the top part of the anvil on this. So that's a severe storm making its way closer to Shawnee and Jackson counties especially, but the hail in that looks like it's close to Emmett at this time from what I can see there on the radar. So again, we were looking from this camera right here toward that storm, the hail core up here, so it spreads out like a mushroom, and that's what you're seeing up above it. Check out the view from Wamego here. This thing will play nice with me. It's just not doing it. All right, well, do it manually then. There we go. That's the from Manhattan, from Wamego right now, looking over toward Toto. And I can actually change the view on that, so we'll do that. See what other view we got here. And again, the wind doesn't look to be too wild there. It looks like probably the worst of it may be past Wamego at this point. And then in Manhattan, again, just a downpour of rain still falling there, where we have the flash flood warning still in place, because they've seen as much as a couple of inches, as much as 2 or 3 inches of rain from many spots there from Manhattan down to the Chapman area, where the rain's been coming down is exceptionally heavy. And we did have some rotation in these earlier, and you can actually see the cars there sloshing through water kind of right above the roof of the building there from the Manhattan campus. And I can't tell how deep that is, but certainly they're driving through some water that's running there across the roadway. And I'm going to try to turn that camera, see if we can get a better look at that, or if there's any other flash flooding there close by. But again, the flash flood warning there going for Junction City, Manhattan, as well as folks over at Fort Riley. Just use a lot of caution if you're going to be in those areas, as there is some flash flooding ongoing. There's a fire truck driving through that. Yeah, they're kind of having to slow down. I just can't tell how deep the water is there, but certainly they're splashing through water there on the road as they're going by the Manhattan campus of Stormont Vale. All right, let's turn this thing around. So we're up on a nice tall perch there, which is helpful to see storms coming, but it makes it more difficult to see the roads that are even down kind of at the foot of the building. But you can certainly see the rain's coming down heavily. Still looks like a car wash outside there in Manhattan right now, as it's still kind of pouring in the city. So that's what it looks like now, and this is not even the heaviest stuff that was moving through town. A few minutes ago it was worse than that. All right, so that is looking over toward Bill Snyder Family Stadium from the Stormont Vale Manhattan campus. Let's check out the view here. Let's check out how it looks along I-70 as well here. See if I can get a shot of this. Let's do the Junction City group here.
Okay, I'll pass that on to our team.
All right, so let's do.
Sorry? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yep, thank you.
Junction City, there's not, it's not that rainy right now. To get west of Junction City, there's the Milford exit, the Chapman exit, where it's raining very heavily still. And then a little farther, there's another Abilene exit, Solomon exit. That might even be old. But once you get to Chapman, that's where the heavier rain is, and then it kind of clears up after that. But the heaviest of the rain is still falling from areas like Emmett to Wamego, and that's all moving up toward Holton. So we'll see if we continue seeing severe storm warnings up to the Holton area or not. The hail has come down. It was up to the size of tennis balls earlier, and now let's check out how big the hail is. So a while ago it was 2.5 inches in diameter is what the storm reports and the estimates were showing. So the hail core itself, moving into Jackson County here shortly, the warning goes until 7. And if I loop this, you'll actually see that hail core is not as impressive as it was a few minutes ago. So there's still some purple in it, but it's not that 2 inches or worse that we had earlier. So that's still probably bad enough to see the severe storm warning continue over to Jackson County. We'll see. And this hail core is actually pretty big. Sometimes you see these hail cores that are just a mile across, so this one's about 8 miles across. So it's a big storm, and moving into Jackson County shortly. So that's the worst hail core right there. As far as the velocities, we did see the potential of winds to 70 miles per hour with this, and that strongest wind looks like it's about to make its way in the northwest part of Shawnee County or the southwest part of Jackson County, probably northwest Shawnee County. So we may see a severe storm warning issued in the next few minutes for what?
Potawatomi and Jackson for the new warning for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Okay, so there it is. They went right along Shawnee County. Okay, till 7:30 is what they've done with this. So they're saying 70-mile-per-hour winds. There's the beeping. And again, that's the storm right here with winds up to 70 miles per hour, making its way now into Jackson County. So, and the hail with it, let me check it again here. This will be moving toward Holton and Mayetta. Hail up to golf ball size, winds to 70 miles per hour possible with this, and they've just cropped it right along the Shawnee County, Jackson County line. So for now, Shawnee County is not in a warning. And the storm actually could stay north of the Shawnee County line. That's certainly very possible. Even the outflow boundary that's moving toward the south there, the skinny green line you can see right here near Alma is an outflow boundary from that, and that sometimes can set off more storms. There are other times it kind of shuts down some of the threat at times. All right, there's a report. What's that report? You see that one?
We got flash flooding in the Manhattan area.
Okay.
It's a vehicle stranded. There's no particular street that it says. Or, I guess 4 miles west of the Manhattan area.
All right. Thank you, Doug. So still getting flash flooding reports. And I'm going to bring up a camera here from Manhattan. That's actually K18, the south of Scenic Drive. You can see the water running down the ditch there. It's obviously not flash flooding in that spot. It's kind of a high area, I believe, but you can just tell how soggy it is there. Wamego seeing the heavy rain right now as well. And from Stormont Vale Manhattan campus there, the downpour of rain still continuing. And again, we were concerned about seeing potential of rotating storms, maybe even tornadoes in the area. And fortunately, we have not even had a tornado warning, so that's wonderful.
But we always have to remember that these 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts can do just as much damage as a weak tornado.
Right. So that's moving toward areas like Holton, Mayetta, Denison, Hoyt. You are all in the path of this severe thunderstorm warning. And as we mentioned, the Weather Service mentioning 70-mile-per-hour winds are a possibility with this thing. So make sure that you are Just stay inside as these pass. You also want to stay away from windows in a lot of cases when you have severe storm warnings, because if they do knock out the windows, then you can have the glass coming in at you, which certainly is dangerous. So that's the worst storm we have really right there, is this thing that's getting into the western part of Jackson County. All right, let's check out some of the viewer pictures here. I'll bring this up. And this is on WIBW.com, and if you haven't checked it out, you certainly can help us out with viewer pictures. Let us know what you're seeing. This is a picture from Bellevue looking south just about a minute ago. This is from Junction City, about 5:50, extremely heavy rain there. You see the clouds kind of have a spinny look to them from near Salina. That's in Manhattan. You can see a lot of hail on the ground right there. Coming out of, it looks like it's coming out of one of the coming out of the drain pipes there. There's some hail and wind from John. There's small hail. Look at all that hail. That's in Manhattan about 15 minutes ago from Kelson. She's got a couple pictures. Look at the other ones there. Look at that. Lots of hail. It's not huge, but it's just a lot of it. There's a video of some hail, it looks like, in Manhattan from Timothy. That way that's bouncing. That's at least the size of quarters. You can't tell how big it is. Manhattan, more hail. So I think Manhattan got a lot of hail. That looks a lot like what I saw earlier near Abilene. That thing right there, that's what we're concerned about. So that was near Wamego 30 minutes ago or so. I didn't see any rotation with it, but you know, if you're seeing that, then clearly that's a problem. Another picture from Manhattan. Manhattan has lots of pictures. My goodness. There's Seth Child Road from Angie. Here's a video from Brittany in Manhattan with strong wind and the hail falling there. Again, you can submit your own pictures here to Weather Picks as well, and I really appreciate when people do this. It gives us a good idea of what's going on. The radar can show us stuff, but if you show us on pictures, then it gives us a better idea. There's oh man, there's some flooding in Manhattan. Look at the water running in the road there. See if I can zoom out on this a little bit so you can see it better. Yeah. Lots of hail. Oh man, that's a mess. That's the Sunset Zoo picture. I believe that's kind of on the southwest side of town from Samuel in Manhattan. Thank you for sending that in. That's an awesome video. My gosh. Another Manhattan video here. And the hail is ripping down some of the leaves there you can see in the video. That's just amazing. Wow. So Manhattan certainly had a rough storm move through. At least one core. There might have even been two cores that moved over the city. These are all from Manhattan. There's near Seco Park. Steps are covered in hail there. Another one from Angie. Everything covered in hail. Just beautiful pictures of horrible, causing some damage. This is from Abilene earlier. We had the hail was bigger. It's close to the size of baseballs. Tennis balls is the report we got in, but you can see how big the hail there is from Timber Taylor an hour ago in Abilene. This is near Clay Center. That's a golf ball. These are just a little bit bigger than a golf ball, probably 2 inches diameter. And you'll see the Weather Service, and the list says tornado warning coming out for Dickinson County. Okay. Okay, so let's see where this is at. And Bridge, you guys hear me back there? Okay, I'm not sure if I'll go on with this yet or not. All right, hang with me. And I've got some storm chasers over there. I need to check on them. Okay. This is not that close to our boundary, so I am not going to break in on this yet. Stay with me because I may change my mind in 5 minutes here, okay? Okay, so tornado warning right now. This is for Dickinson County. And Dickinson County is in the Wichita or K-Wich viewing area. So they will be covering this. If it spins for a moment, goes away, cool. If it continues to spin for probably 5 more minutes, then I'm going to jump on and let folks know that it's coming maybe into Gary County and Morris County. But you can see it there. It's still pretty deep into Dickinson County. Also, is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. So what that means here is if it's Doppler radar seeing this, there are storm spotters in that area. If it was on the ground, somebody there would probably report they could see it. But as of right now, nobody's reporting this as being on the ground. So it's not quite in our coverage area. The warning does not get over into Morris or Gary County, and I'm not 100% sure that rotation will actually make it there. We've got a tornado warning in Dickinson. That's what that is. So that's kind of my thinking here as to why I'm not breaking on TV with this yet. Now, as I say that, if I'm convinced this thing is on the ground for sure, or if it clips any part of Morris or Gary County, we will go with that on TV like right away. We'll always do that.
Well, we are getting close to the top of the hour, so maybe we can just cut in during that first commercial break, if possible, if that's a national break.
Is there a commercial break on now?
I mean, it's going to be wrapping up.
Okay, put me on then.
It's like 60 seconds before
Do it
the
now.
show starts.
I'll do it now. Good call. All right, we're tracking a Doppler radar estimated tornado right now near New Bern. This is in Dickinson County. It goes till 7:30 p.m. This is about 15 miles out of the WIBW official viewing area. K-Wich, our sister station in Wichita, covering this for sure. I'm going to give us about 5 more minutes. It's not confirmed on the ground. It's Doppler radar saying this. But if this makes it just a little closer to the Gary-Morris County line, then we'll go wall-to-wall on TV here with this. If we can stay off and just cover it with with streaming on WIBW.com, we'll do that. But for now, I'm letting you know there's a Doppler estimate of a potential tornado there in the middle of Dickinson County moving east. We may be covering this for Gary County and Morris County shortly, but for now, Dickinson County, tornado warning, areas like Woodbine, you should be in your shelter in this area, but Gary County and Morris County, just a heads up, we may be coming back on with wall-to-wall tornado coverage if this thing stays, if it continues farther to the east, and we are continuing to cover this right now on WIBW.com. Stay with us. Are we back on the stream? All right, talk to me. What's going on? What do you... Okay. Is it actually down? What do you see? Are you streaming on Facebook? Is that where it is? It died earlier. It's Jeffrey.Winger1, right? Yeah, it's down. What's that? What's his page? What's his page on there? On Facebook? Okay, I'll try to find it. Thanks. What's that? What? My call? It's fine. Yeah, I got it. Just talking to storm chasers and seeing what they've got. This is the rotation right there, which is more impressive than it was a moment ago. So it's getting more hooky than it was. And what is that? What is that? Oh, It's just somebody's YouTube page on a news feed. I was like, why am I hearing that? Okay. All right. My apologies. Okay. Bear with me here, guys. I'm going to try to get these folks their live feed on here. Again, we have a tornado warning in place right now for Dickinson County. All right, so these guys are, we got their feed now, so if we get into something here, we'll have a live feed of it. Make sure it actually comes through. There we go. So that is near this tornado warning that we're tracking. So I'm going to have that one in the first slot there and ready to roll with it if it becomes something we're going to go with. But they're driving through some pretty heavy rain there. All right. So again, tornado warning until 7:30 for the middle of Dickinson County. Severe storm warning for Jackson County until 7:30. That is for hail about the size of a golf ball, and winds that could be as high as 70 miles per hour. And there is a camera that's almost right in that now. So in Holton, you have the storm moving through right now. That's from Banner Creek Science Center, which is just to the southwest of town. And you can see the trees are not taking too much of a beating there, but it looks like the bigger hail might be hanging back just a little bit from that. So over here to the west, this is the tornado warning we're dealing with. And the hook is not as impressive as it was a moment ago, but it's still there. And it is still Doppler radar indicated. So the Weather Service, if they get a report that it's down, or if they see debris on radar, they will call it such. But right now it's Doppler radar indicated, and that warning goes till 7:30. The rotation on this is just absolutely not impressive to me. It's not that close to the radar, and it's not that far either. But it's right there, just kind of west of Woodbine. And this is right there. The rotation is a bit better. Right in this area, there's a red and a blue, with the radar showing the particles going different directions there. As we go a little farther forward here, the rotation's still there, but it's just not as impressive. It looks more like it's a weak rotation. I mean, it's got 62 mile per hour winds going inbound toward the radar, and the outbound is not even close to that. That's probably 10 miles per hour or less. What do we got there? 9, yeah. 9 miles per hour away from the radar, and 60, 58 going toward. So this is not super strong by any means there, but it's a rotation. So again, Doppler radar indicated tornado warning there near New Bern, and it looks to me like it's kind of getting back embedded in the line of storms there. I just don't see it as rotating really freely from that. All right, so we'll continue to monitor it, but for now, I'm not going to break in on TV just yet with that thing. That's a nice thing about the live stream, is we can talk forever on here and we're not chewing up TV, but So this storm that's near Mayetta and Holton at this time has winds to 70 miles per hour possible. And now we've got, oh, there we go, look at that. Now we've got 70 mile per hour winds there almost for sure. That went from fine to low-grade hurricane in a hurry. Look at this one, Daniel. That's at Banner Creek. Is there a commercial on now by chance? Oh, that's too bad. Oh, let's go on for a minute real quick then. This is actually impressive. Let's do this. All right, quick update here. These are the winds at Holton, or Banner Creek Science Center. Winds are at least 70 miles per hour in that shot now. So this is the severe storm warning that's going through Jackson County. You can't see more than maybe 100 yards in that. So extremely heavy rain and winds gusting 70 miles per hour, maybe even a little higher than that. That's really wild. That's the image right there. So that's moving into Holton right now. And the worst of it with hail the size of quarters to $half moving into the Holton area as well. And then to the west, we're still tracking that rotation near Newberry and over in the middle of Dickinson County. And it is still a tornado warning. It's Doppler radar indicated, but the rotation looks like it has weakened. So if you're still watching with us, the rotation on that's not impressive. It's still just out of the WIBW viewing area, and it's really, really a loose rotation at most at this time. But if we were to have a tornado warning, it would be the stuff in Geary County and Morris. I'm not confident it's going to get there, but it's this weak rotation right here if it makes it. And then we're tracking that severe storm that's got wild wind moving through Holton right now. Stay with us. We are live streaming on WIBW.com. We'll break back in on here on TV as well to keep you safe and informed. All right, thanks for staying with us here. Thanks, Bridge. I appreciate that. And let's go back to this live camera there in Holton. That was really crazy. Look at this thing. I mean, I don't mean to overstate it, but that looks more than 70 miles per hour to me. And it's difficult to tell looking at a weather camera sometimes, you know, how bad it really is. So that's the storm.
I mean, it could just be the heavy rain. A lot of purple in there.
But 70 miles per hour is certainly nasty, so real 70 mile per hour winds and hail the size of golf balls and just an absolute downpour. So that's the storm. So Holton, it's not in town yet, it will be shortly because Banner Creek is just outside of town. But that's the severe storm that's in the middle of Jackson County right now. And it extends down to the south to the Mayetta area as well. I'm going to try to bring that camera up from KDOT. So from the folks at KDOT, let's see if we can get your tower camera up. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, what am I doing? All right, come on. There we go. There's the strong winds from KDOT there. You can see that camera really rocking in the wind. So that is the exit right by Prairie Band is what that is. That's US 75 at County Road 150. And you can see that camera really rocking in the wind. So it's very strong winds there. You know, 70 mile per hour gust is certainly a good estimate there from what I'm seeing on the camera. As a matter of fact, Banner Creek, that camera is now dead. That camera is no longer doing anything. It's a still image. So I'm going to go ahead and say that power up. There, it's back.
It's like it's calmed down.
It's calmed down. You are correct. And this the can drive camera again. There, it's a Highway 75 and County Road 150, where this one's dancing in the wind now. So all right, and it looks like that tornado warning got canceled.
Yes, that's correct.
That's good. Now, it still has this appendage here, so we have to watch out to see if they issue on it again. A very wise person from the Weather Service once told me once they go bad, they tend to stay bad. That was good advice I got many moons ago. So we'll be watching that one. Here's a new warning, looks like, for Jefferson County. So we're going to have hail the size of golf balls and 60 mile per hour winds with saying here. And watch out for this, because that has a hook now coming past Mayetta. A moment ago, it looked more like just a wind threat. Now it's got more of a hook look to it. So Jefferson County, even the eastern part of Jackson County, I would not be totally surprised to see a tornado warning issued up there. Bridge, you guys can hear me? They may issue a tornado warning here in a moment for in the DMA. So just be aware.
Looks like it's a severe thunderstorm warning.
What?
It's a severe thunderstorm warning.
It is now, but it's
they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're saying 60 and golf balls, so they're not leaning forward on tornado at the moment. It's just that hook look to it. I was hoping that that's an outflow boundary that's spinning. Yeah, that outflow boundary is not in position to shut this one down. So what I'm mentioning here, kind of thinking out loud, if you will, because the live stream you can talk forever, is there's a feature there just southeast of Rossville. As soon as my computer knows I'm not trying to move this piece, there's a kind of a piece of green there just southeast of Rossville and Maple Hill. And that is an outflow boundary. While my computer's thinking about it, I'll just walk over here and show you. This green strip right here, that's an outflow boundary. And that's some cool air being shot out to the south from these storms up here. That would shut down a tornado risk for anything from about right here back to the west. So this thing out to the ahead of it, this is, I'm not saying tornado warning, but I am saying that, you know, that's the kind of thing that makes me lean forward. So I was hoping that the outflow boundary would kill it, but unfortunately the outflow boundary is not in the right spot to even do what I was hoping there. So, all right. What is this thing doing? There we go. The tornado warning we had earlier that was in Dickinson County has been allowed to, they took it down. It was going to go till 7:30. Was it going till 7:30? I think it was.
Was it 7:30?
Or 7:15. Either way, they canceled it.
Yeah.
They dropped that thing. So that's good. So that's it's now a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be into the western part of Gary County here now, with hail the size of $0.50 and winds to 60. But that means we have to kind of watch for any appendage that hangs off of that in case they start issuing more tornado warnings along that part, which, you know, is possible. Manhattan's still seeing extreme rain. We're seeing a severe storm warning up here, and hail now to 2 inches diameter is what they're saying here in Jackson County, with that warning going until 7:30 p.m. Let's zoom in on this and see which part they're worried about seeing hail the size of. It's larger than a golf ball is what you've got there. For if it's 2 inch diameter, it's just bigger than a golf ball. Not quite a tennis ball, but certainly very large. So that's near Holton and getting close to Denison at this point. So let's go ahead and check out the camera again there if I can. It's really unusual. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this and we'll check out that camera again to see if we've got any hail that's actually falling. It's got to be past this by now from Banner Creek. Yeah, Banner Creek has gone totally calm now. Just everything is really calmed down there. However, near Denison, Effingham, Nortonville, Valley Falls, you have a storm with hail that's bigger than a golf ball that's coming in your direction. So be ready for that. Pretty sure this system's about to shut down on me again. So Effingham, Nortonville, you're going to have big hail moving your way in just a few minutes here. Can you guys take Max 2 again for me? Just swap it over to the system. Thank you. What's the warning up there? You look at, yeah, zoom in on the warning to see what it says. Hit BR, menu and then BR. Oh, there you go. So it's for Dickinson, that's Dickinson Gary is the one to the southwest. It's pointing the wrong one.
Oh, gotcha.
So zoom in on the one in the upper right, see if it gives you the right details.
For Dickinson and Gary, 7:30 p.m.
That's the one to the southwest. But zoom in, yeah, zoom in on Holton.
Okay, gotcha.
I want to see what's up with that.
The one in Holton is for 2 inch hail and 70 mile per hour gusts.
Thank you. How about in Jefferson County? Does it say the same thing in Jefferson County?
1.75 25-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Thank you. Okay. What is that? Okay. You getting anything that's like dust blowing around or tornado stuff in the images from people, Doug?
Let's see. I think a lot of it is the hail and the flooding
Okay.
pictures.
All right. But you've got updated, all the pictures are in there now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's check out what pictures we have and have a video from a viewer I'm going to try to bring up for you guys here in just a moment. Looks like it, I'm not going to say it's a tornado, but it's definitely a very strong wind. And maybe a gustnado is what I'm thinking it might be. Oh my gosh, all these videos and pictures from Manhattan are just wild of all the hail over there. All right, yeah, keep me on max 2 for a moment. Try to bring this thing up here. Okay. All right, bear with me, folks. I've got a video, probably of a gustnado, that I'm going to try to share with you here. I believe it's a gustnado anyway. There we go. Okay. What is that warning update? Gary County? What does that say?
It's for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail.
Okay.
See, we got Grandview Plaza and Junction City in the warning until 7:45.
Thank you. They cropped off part of the Jackson County warning.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. This is doing this, okay. All right, I don't know why I can't bring this thing up. I can just cheat. I'll bring it this way. Come on. All right, this video is going to be from Tammy Sue Stahlbomber. And this is maybe a Gustnado close to a Jeffrey Energy Center. As soon as it loads. All right, I'm going to make this happen. I'm just
Getting close.
Yeah, I am not going to accept no on this. It's going to happen. All right, so again, this video is close to Jeffrey Energy Center. This is right after we had the radar showing it looked like 70-mile-per-hour winds, maybe even a bit stronger, going through the Wamego area close to it. So there is a video from Tammy Sue
Oh, we got to
Stahlbomber
switch
there.
back to Max 1.
Oh yeah, Max 1, guys.
There we
You're doing
go.
that for me. So that looks like a Gustnado to me.
Yeah.
There's some, and as much rain as you had recently, there's some spots that have actually gotten very, very little.
Right.
So it could also just be very strong winds blasting some dirt up into the air. So please don't see that and think, oh my gosh, it's a tornado. Why didn't you tell us? But I mean, like, these things can look much worse than they are when they just find a pocket of some dirt. I don't see any debris flying there, like pieces of houses. I don't see. I don't even see branches flying in there. I just see a lot of dust, is what it looks like to me. But that's probably a Gustnado. It's got some spin to it, obviously. So I think that's what we're looking at there. Most likely, is our good friend the Gustnado. So that's probably what that is. All right. So other videos of here. These are things I do know what they are for sure. This is hail and high winds in St. George earlier from WIBW.com out of the Weather Picks page. Just dozens of these. They keep pouring in. I do appreciate seeing all these videos people send in. They really give us an idea of what's going on. There's another one from Becca in Manhattan as well, the flash flooding there and the extreme rain as well. So that's not as bad now as it was. So this storm has a severe storm warning with it. This is Geary County for winds to 60 and hail the size of quarters. And that severe storm warning goes till 7:45. And this one's kind of hanging south farther than the other stuff. So if something was going to spin, that's one we have to worry about. I have a warning there also for Manhattan now. Did that just get issued? Going until 8 p.m.
Yeah, there's a new one for Potawatomi and Riley.
So it's 7:24 just a moment ago. National Weather Service says hail up to the size of quarters and winds to 60. As Doug said, Riley and Potawatomi, southeast Riley and southern Potawatomi until 8. And they're saying, again, hail the size of quarters and winds to 60 miles per hour possible with this. Let's check out the hail.
And that's almost in a similar situation that they just issued a flash flood warning for as well.
So this could be the big hail, probably right there. And that's pretty close to that's a camera that's on top of the Stormont Vail Manhattan campus. So there's the view right now. If I can turn this one. You can see looking west of town, now there's some sunshine peeking out. So the worst part of the storm probably going to be just to the east of Manhattan campus, the Stormont Vail there. There's a rainbow. Of course, the rainbow is just from the perspective of the camera. It doesn't mean you can actually see it from that spot even. But very heavy rain there, making its way over towards St. George and Wamego. Wamego is in the severe storm warning as well. And good, I have shut down that allow interruptions from the bug and crawl, so it's not irritating people as badly on TV as it was, thankfully. All right, so there's also a camera just to the east of Manhattan at St. George. A while ago, I got a good video of it of strong winds there, but now it looks like either the camera has been turned or it's been knocked out of commission there, but one of the two. So I'll try to bring it up here anyway and just show you what we've got. See if it's actually moving or not. Okay, so this is going to be the camera there that's on just east of Manhattan, near Flush is where this one is. St. George, it's close to St. George. So here we go. And I think the camera's actually moving. I don't think it's totally shut down, but they've got it. They've either changed the direction of it or it took a beating from the wind, and that might have moved it. So that might have happened as well. So farther to the west, again, we have the severe storm warning that's in Junction County, or for Gary County, for Junction City. The worst part of that storm is really south of town. You can see the extreme rain there. The flash flood warning continues. And let's see, that's not what I wanted to have it on. That's the wrong one. Here we go. Now I've got it. But you can see just a downpour of rain there. Look at this. Extremely heavy rain there. Maybe some hail on that. If it's hail, it's not very big. And again, this flash flooding there. You can see the ditches are full. They're kind of at the bottom of the shot. And that's from I-70 at 77 is where that is, where the extreme rain's coming down. All right, so again, severe storm warning going from Manhattan through Omega to Bellevue. And this storm up here is the one that's got hail up to 2 inches diameter heading toward Effingham. So if you're in Effingham, stay inside while this thing goes by. Winds to 70 and hail up to bigger than a golf ball. 2 inches diameter is bigger than a golf ball is what that is. So in Effingham, Nortonville, Winchester, Valley Falls, stay inside while this thing passes. That storm is the strongest thing we have going right now from what I can see. That and, of course, the flash flooding potential, the flash flood warning that was going on for these folks down here from Manhattan, Junction City to Chapman. And now we have the warnings just connected. We have warnings through Gary County, through Dickinson County now, and all the way down here into Saline County. So they're all connected. None of these are tornado warnings, but they all are severe storm warnings. Update coming in of some sort there. Let's see what this is about. A severe storm warning for Dickinson County going until, let's see what's the time on this one. Gary and Dickinson, I believe. Yeah, West Gary, Central Dickinson County until 8. Hail the size of quarters, winds to 60. Located 4 miles south of Abilene, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. So that's this stuff right in here. And that's moving into Gary County. So we have severe storm warnings that are kind of lined up again. Now I want to check out the extreme rainfall we've seen. And that's the one that was crashing my system earlier. So I'm going to try to jump past this and see if it doesn't mess with me. But the flash flooding is from Wamego through Manhattan down to Abilene. And some areas there are 3 to 4 inches of rain have fallen already. And still coming down. And it's still the areas of severe storm warnings are really in the flash flood warning areas. They still have severe storm warnings in those spots. So obviously still getting extremely heavy rain. The strongest storm we have is this one. Really near Effingham and Nortonville is the worst of this. So if you're there around Nortonville, Effingham, Lancaster, Winchester, just stay inside while this goes by as hail up to 2 inches diameter. I don't see spin on it. Earlier it looked like it might have spin when it came through the Denison area. Now it does not look like that to me. But the big hail, the hail core of this right now is going to be right there near Effingham. And it's not as big as it was earlier. It looks like it's actually come down a bit. When the hail starts to get over golf ball size today, we've started to see that bright white showing up in most of these. And right now it's not as intense as it was. Those areas of red are not as intense as the white on this particular scale. So hopefully it's come down some. Check out the hail zone, which estimates the hail size. Yeah, it's come down a lot. So we'll go back a few minutes there. There you go. That's big hail. It's purple. And even before the hail was in a bigger area, it was kind of just wide. And you can see there's purples, dark blues, gets to Holton. Blast Holton with some really strong winds a few minutes ago. And then now gray. Gray is 3/4 of an inch hail, so that is no longer producing extreme hail. It is probably still very windy, And when the hail starts to relax, then sometimes the wind gets worse. So there's a real possibility of strong winds there of 60, 70 miles per hour. But the hail threat looks like it's dramatically come down there with that storm is moving toward the Effingham area. So still a severe storm warning with it. Still stay inside while this thing goes by you, because it's probably going to produce strong winds. But the massive hail that was showing up with it now looks like it's gone. Let's see if we have any reports of hail from that storm recently as well. I'm going to storm reports here. I'll bring up the weather pictures and see if there's anything new in there. I see some wind damage here near Mayetta. That says, just says thunderstorm wind damage. I don't know what's broken. But I don't have any reports of hail size from Holton over to Effingham, so I don't know. So let's check out some weather pictures from folks and see if anybody has anything from up there. All right. So the first thing I have here is flooding from Louisville. Which is still loading. And this is WIBW.com under the weather pics section. If you want to load pictures in, we would love to see them. So that's near Randolph from Dana. This is near St. George from Andrea. This is a while ago, the hail and high winds in St. George. You can see the hail just covering the ground there. This is in Manhattan a while ago with extremely heavy rain and hail. There's St. George with ice covering the ground. Looks like it snowed there. There's so much hail. I don't see anything from up in the Effingham area just yet, so we'll see if anything else comes in. And it's certainly a possibility we get some showing up shortly here. Again, there are no tornado warnings in the area right now. We have not had any tornado warnings in the WIBW viewing area at this point, thankfully. We had a tornado warning in Dickinson County earlier that was Doppler radar indicated. Fortunately, it appears that did not touch down. And there are lots of storm spotters over there, so the fact that it was Doppler radar indicated gave me some comfort that it probably hadn't touched down. It didn't look that impressive on radar. As a matter of fact, as soon as the warning was issued, it started to look like less of a problem almost right away. All right. Flash flooding is becoming an even bigger problem now, it looks like. So I'm going to try this graphic again and see if it tries to crash my computer when I bring this up. I don't know why this scene in particular has so much trouble. Now I do. Okay. So again, flash flooding. These counties in the purple here are Burgundy, from Emmett through Louisville, through Manhattan to Fort Riley, Ogden. Flash flood warning going until later this evening. And we have more storms moving into these same areas. So the flash flood problem is not going to get better in the near term here. We've had an extremely heavy rainfall in those areas, and the rain is continuing at this time. So as I put back on the reflectivity, you're going to see that the rain is still falling in the same areas that have already seen those extreme rain amounts. So Manhattan, for example, has flash flooding going on right now, and the rain that extends through Junction City and Chapman is all coming toward Manhattan. So areas that have already seen extreme rain are going to see even more rain. So here we go. We've got a severe storm warning for the St. George area, Wamego, and Louisville. And this is for hail the size of quarters and winds to 60 miles per hour. Yes, the Weather Service is looking at as a possibility with this. So let's check out the camera there in Wamego, see if it looks like anything at this point. And the one that's near St. George doesn't look that bad at this point. It's interesting they have it kind of pointed at a pole there. But Wamego doesn't look so bad at this point, but you could have more hail moving in shortly. Let's see how big the hail is with this. Yeah, it's got that bright white color again. So this core right there, just northwest of Louisville, you're probably going to have hail bigger than a quarter or close to it. The darker blue there indicating where the hail core was a few moments ago. So Louisville, hail the size of a quarter, maybe a bit bigger coming your way. And that's the biggest hail going anywhere now in northeast Kansas. There's nothing else close to that. That hail core is by far the most impressive anything that's showing up here on the radar. So upstream, this stuff moving through the Atchison County and northern Jefferson County, that no longer has huge hail. The warning goes for 7 more minutes, but the hail in there certainly has come down pretty dramatically. Still could have winds to 70 miles per hour, but the hail is not as big as it was. Farther down the line here, this storm just south of Junction City, hail the size of quarters is what they're indicating with this. I don't like this little curly Q on the bottom of it. I'm not sure if it's a problem or not, but it's something we'll watch. And just I mentioned that they have a new severe storm warning with it going till 8:15. And it is a severe storm. It's not tornado. Just because it has a little hooky thing does not mean it's a major problem, but that's an area I'm going to watch, and it's got some spin to it. So I'm also going to take my camera that's located on the WIBW transmission tower, and I'm going to spin that sucker around that way if I can. Try to look that way, and this is kind of what I'm seeing there from the camera. And I'm looking a long way over there, but that's kind of the view I have. It's kind of blocked by our the tower. This is the view from Council Grove from the folks over at Tri-County Telecommunications, where it has not rained today at all. And that's looking west toward the city. I'm going to turn the camera and look toward the bottom of the supercell. You can see the supercell on the right side. It goes from surface to, probably 50,000 feet or close to it. So we turn this to the right there. And I'll try to keep an eye on the horizon there and see if I see anything from this. It's hard to see from that distance. It's got to be 20 miles or close to it, but sometimes you can see things, and yeah, 20 miles almost right at it. So last year we picked up the Westmoreland tornado from this camera right here. I picked it up all the way from here, and that camera's 30 miles away from Westmoreland, so we were picking that thing up from that distance. Sometimes you can. Not always, but sometimes you do pick it up. All right, so I want to check out the I-70 here from KDOT and see if we see any flash flooding issues along the interstate. Sometimes you can. So we'll start here in Junction City at exit 301. That's Henry Drive is what it's going to be once it loads in here. There you go. Again, it's KDOT, candrive.gov. Your tax dollars pay for this, so it's a resource you can check at any time, of course. There's some, looks like the water just came down in that shot. It may have been up over the road there close to it. Right in the middle, you can see how muddy it is, and the water was certainly a little deeper there a little while ago. That's I-70 K18. There's I-70 at Highway 77. What's that on the right side of the road there? There are a couple of officers there. Is that a big rig off the road? I think it is. Yeah, it is. So I'll zoom in on this closer. Right over here, there's a road sign, and right beside it is something that doesn't look quite right. And I'm pretty sure that's a big rig. Yeah. Yeah, I can see the flashing lights on it there kind of in the bottom right under the sign. So Just something interesting we picked out there. So right underneath the sign, right in the blue there, I can zoom in, you can probably see a little better here. So there's the back of the big rig here, and there's the back of the you call it the tractor, part of the tractor trailer, I guess, but you can see it's flashing red lights under there, and the police are there to help out, obviously. And then right here you've got another law enforcement kind of letting people know there's something ahead going on the road. So that's almost surely from the storms. I'm not sure if the wind caused it or what happened, but that person's dealing with a problem right now. There's heavy rain still falling from the other camera close by there at Junction City, Chapman, heavy rain, and then near Abilene, it's dry at the moment. Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to show you that camera there in Abilene. So Chapman's raining heavily, and there's Abilene right there. And I want to make sure that's actually live. That image, that truck is stopped on the right side. I think they're actually stopped. I don't think the camera, yeah, the car's moving. Okay, so now you can see Abilene. That's the Abilene exit on highways on I-70. And now when I bring this other radar up, you'll see how close it is to being right in extremely heavy rain. And I'll go through the warnings again here. All right, if there's another commercial break on TV, let me know, guys. That thing's got a decent hook to it in the eastern part of Gary County. Okay, so I just mentioned Abilene. That's Abilene right there on I-70. And I just showed that camera, which was dry. So just right outside that camera is where it's pouring. All right, so here's what's the hook that's bothering me. I keep yelling about. Now? Oh, coming up in a minute or two? Okay. I want that, please. So we're going to do a break on TV here in just a moment. Why is that thing pointing up there? That's not Gary and Riley. That is. Okay. What time does this Potawatomi expire? Do you know?
Let's see, Potawatomi is 8 o'clock.
Thank you. About a minute away, is that right? Okay, I'm ready. Still watching dangerous storms across northeast Kansas. A severe storm warning in place for Wamego to St. Mary's this time with hail the size of $0.5, winds to 60 miles possible there. This storm in Gary County has a persistent hook that's kind of hanging on the south side. Right now it's a severe storm warning in eastern Gary County. Just a heads up for Wabaunsee County. We could have the rotation enough that for a tornado warning. We'll be watching. There's a lot of storm chasers on that. We have a camera near Maple Hill looking at as well. Severe storm warning across Dickinson County from the New Bern area to Chapman as well. These storms have hail the size of quarters as well. We're also seeing flash flooding around Manhattan, Junction City, Chapman, Fort Riley, with more rain coming up I-70 and heading in those same areas. Going to continue the flash flooding risk into late tonight. So again, Tornado Watch goes till midnight for most of northeast Kansas. We are live streaming continuously on WIBW.com. We'll break in here on TV with updates once in a while, or if we see a tornado warning, like if this thing gets out of control, we'll break back on TV and stay here until it is gone. For now, that's what we have going on. Stay with us. We'll keep you safe and informed. Thank you. Okay. So again, this is not the most impressive hook I've ever seen. It doesn't have some sort of high-end rotation. It's just in a tornado watch. That's the most exciting thing I have going as far as anything that is showing signs of spinning. So that doesn't mean that I'm worried about some massive tornado showing up there. It's just that's the thing right now that has the highest potential to do anything like that. They still have this 2-inch diameter hail tag on the same storm as it goes to Atchison County, Doniphan, Leavenworth, and Buchanan. So this storm is getting out of the WIBW viewing area, and the only reason that I'm looking at it now at all is just my curiosity as to what's up with the 2-inch diameter tag on that. Check the reports and see if anything came in with that. There's a wind report that finally came in for this. Let's see what we got here. 70 miles per hour, Everest at 7:35 p.m. No hail, and then reported. And the hail core there, I just don't see those dark colors anymore. So there's something they're seeing on that I'm not. But that storm's kind of moving away from the folks we cover here in northeast Kansas. So we'll go ahead and give up on that one as the show me state can have it. This storm for Pottawatomie County going until 8 p.m. Again, it includes folks from Omego, Bellevue. The hail on that could be up the size of a $0.50. That's the 1.25-inch diameter size. Now, a minute ago, it was showing that bright white near Louisville. As we go forward in time, it's not quite as impressive as it was. On the velocity, let's see what we've got. The winds aren't extreme from what I see there. It's pretty close to the radar. So when you're that close to the radar, it's also that the winds are moving perpendicular to the radar, if you will. They're not moving toward or away from the radar necessarily. So if you had a 60-mile-per-hour wind going from left to right, then it wouldn't necessarily show up on the radar as something really wild. So there's the live view there in Wamego right now. And I don't think anybody in Wamego looks like it's too dangerous from what I see. So that's the live view there in Wamego at this point. Let's check out the view from near Maple Hill, looking almost straight west. And I'm going to continue watching for this little appendage here that I just don't like. That's getting close to Wabunsee County. And I'll keep trying to track that from this camera near Council Grove as well. And that camera is, I say near Council Grove, it's just right outside of town. It's on the east edge of town. I wasn't going to bring this camera up. I just happened to come across it. It's just a cool view, so I'll show it anyway. That's the view from 78th and Davis Road. And it's kind of neat, the sun peeking below that the sky there. Just an amazing view. Any cool pictures come in lately, Doug?
Got a couple rainbows coming in.
Rainbows? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so rainbows are coming in. We got beautiful sky there. That's the Jeffrey Energy Center on the right side of that shot. And that's almost the same angle that we were looking at the Westmoreland tornado almost a year ago. It's kind of hard for me not to think about that when this time of year. It was just April 30th last year when that happened. So, all right, so down the line here, again, this little hook that I'm watching there in Gary County, moving into Wabunsee County, it is not super impressive. It's just if you were looking for some candidate around here, something that make you think tornado, that's the only one right now that I see that even makes me think about it. Over here in Dickinson County, there's no massive hail in there. What there is just a downpour of rain that is going to make the flash flooding situation worse. The National Weather Service saying that this area of flash flooding because of training of more rain going in the same areas. And they're actually talking about it again right now. So let me see if I can bring the image up or if it's something that's allowed. I think I can bring that up, yeah. Yeah, I can use that one. You have chat open?
Yes.
That's a public image, right? The one that just came in?
Yes, I think they
Okay.
posted that on their Twitter
wanna
account.
just wanna make
social
sure that
media
I'm
account.
following the rules. Okay, so this is an image the Weather Service just dropped just a few moments ago here. And what they're saying is that the flash flooding is could get worse here. So you got again this Weather Service office right there in the upper right part of the screen is their logo there. updated at 7:30, so that's, I don't know when they updated. This is the first time I saw it come up. Storms have formed as broken lines, training over the same locations. This increased the flash flooding threat. Storms are following each other, moving northeast. The whole cluster should slowly start to sag southward into the night. Strong winds, large hail, few tornadoes, flash flooding possible. Be weather aware. So they circle this area right here. And the training is these storms kind of going over the same area hour after hour is the big problem that we have that will keep the flash flooding threat going. So when you look right there where the flash flood warnings are in place, from Pottawatomie County and Riley County, Gary County, and Dickinson County, right through Abilene and Chapman, those same spots where it has already rained extremely heavily are likely to see more rain moving in and continuing to rain on and off for the next several hours. And then ultimately it will start moving south, but it's not going to do it, immediately. It'll take some time. The computer models are indicating that later tonight, probably after midnight, the computer models are showing it could be the newest versions could come in and show something different shortly, but the models I was looking at earlier show that after midnight we start to see the storms kind of sagging south a bit more. So far that has not happened yet, but it's only 8 p.m. obviously. So there's no tornado warnings right now, thankfully. We still have the tornado watch going until midnight. And the computer's frozen up again for me for a moment here. You guys bring up Max 2 again for me? Thank you. That was fast. Okay, so new warning information coming in here. Say the severe storm warning continues for southeast Gary County and south central Riley County. And they're going to let the warning for southeast Pottawatomie expire at 8 p.m., which is in 6 minutes. Sometimes they cancel them completely, and sometimes they say they're going to let them expire at the time they are already scheduled to expire. So it's kind of a difference there in the process, but sometimes you may hear that terminology used, canceled or expired. And if you say something's going to expire at 8 o'clock, this just means they're not dropping it yet. So again, we have severe storm warnings now moving into Jackson County. That's a new one. That goes till 8:30, and that is for hail up to the size of a $50, and also winds to 60 miles per hour is a possibility with that one. So we'll have to be looking at Holton again for more storms coming your way. And we'll check the velocity on that. So that's the hail zone. Check out the velocity on it, just see if it's spinning. That should be behind the outflow boundary, so I can't imagine that would get too crazy up there. Go ahead, you can take that one. Daniel, my computer decided to shut down again. I've got one corrupt scene in here, I think, is what's going to keep me bogged down a little bit tonight. But there's not a lot of I don't see anything right now that's threatening to be the tornado warning. Nothing. That certainly could change this evening. I have not seen what the latest models haven't come in yet. We get more models that come in on 8:30. So at that point we'll start to get another idea of how this might play out the rest of the night. But there was mentions on the updates that we could have the low-level jet stream kick in tonight, and that could continue to set off tornado threats even late tonight. So we'll see. Right now the tornado watch goes till midnight. There are no tornado warnings in northeast Kansas. So far we haven't had any tornado warnings, thankfully. I mean, the warnings are bad, but there's no actual tornadoes that have happened. That's other than what looked like maybe a gustnado that may have happened near Jeffrey Energy Center earlier. All right, so here's a video from Genesis Gym in Manhattan. It says, There's some strong wind there.
Are we switching back to the next one?
Yeah, max 1. Sorry, guys. I just kind of moved on. Thank you. So this is at the Genesis Gym, it says, in Manhattan. So this is video there from somebody. There's a new mesoscale discussion coming in for everybody playing along at home. There's some hail from Holton from 11 minutes ago. Look at this hail. That's big. Wow, that's Clay County, 13th and Valley View Road. You can see how they kind of have different shapes. That's a dollar there. I was thinking it was a quarter, but that's actually a dollar, I guess. And the measurement there, this one is almost 2 inches across. So it's neat how some of them are smooth and others are kind of lumpy like this. It's just amazing different looks of hailstones sometimes. Depends on how turbulent things are in the cloud and how many times it goes up and down and all those kind of things. A lot of stuff plays into it. Some of the viewer pictures here. This is the St. George, a lot of the hail. There was just tons of hail in Manhattan. We have at least dozens of pictures from folks from Manhattan of the hail, just covering the ground in many areas there in Manhattan. Looks like a winter scene. There's a picture from St. George. Look at the grass there; it's all covered in hail. There's a handful of hail in Manhattan. This is the east side of Manhattan with hail bouncing in the yard there, tearing down some of the leaves. Streets flooding in Manhattan. It says in the South Manhattan, and so that's all water there pooling in the road. This is a wild one. This is next to K-State today. Couldn't tell. I think a dude was shirtless running across there in the hail. It's close to a university, of course they would be doing that. But you can see the hail there and kind of a creek of water running through it. Again, it's close to K-State earlier. You know, once you start to see these streams of water running through the hail, you know, it's just a mess. Why is everybody running out of this house? Now I'm invested in the video. I want to see how it turns out. I've seen like 6 or 8 people run out of this house into the hail. I think this one has a laundry basket on their head. I hope that's what that is. Now I'm afraid I'm going to get rickrolled or something watching this video.
Yeah, right.
Like, what's going to happen? It's close to the university. There's hail over the place. People doing strange things. There's another person coming out with a box in their head. What is this? How many people have to leave this building at this moment of this hailstorm? All right, so there's another one. All right. That was a valuable minute of our time. Seriously, thanks for singing the videos. I really appreciate it. It gives us a good idea what's going on. That's all hail on the ground there. K-State, familiar buildings there, of course. This is the east side of Manhattan, it says. Hail, H-A-L-E. I forgive you, but that's H-A-I-L. And there's some hail. There's all kinds of hail. So it runs off the roof and just kind of piles up outside the house. All right. Check out the warnings again. So what we have is severe storm warning here in Jackson County for hail the size of $0.50, winds to 60 miles per hour. Let's check out the hail core on this dude. And that is not much of a hail core. If it's the size of $0.50, that would really amaze me. How about velocity? But certainly around Emmett, if you're ready for a strong storm to move in, hail could be the size of quarters. I don't think it's up to $0.50, but maybe. And that's moving toward Holton. Holton already saw some strong wind and hail earlier. This storm moving out of Gary County into the southeast part of Riley and the western part of Wabunsee County has a severe storm warning with it. That also had a little rotation with it earlier. Let's see how big the hail is here. And it's right on I-70. So if it's right on I-70, I might be able to get a can drive camera to show us some hail there. Let's start here. That's not the one I wanted, actually. Let's cheat and go backwards here. All right, so I'm going to go on a CAN drive here, and we're going to see what's going on I-70 and see if we can see the storm. So that is, where are we at here? Okay, we'll go to Alma. So this is Alma on I-70 from CAN drive. We're going to go west. That's near a 99. Farther west, Deep Creek Road, raining like crazy. Extremely heavy rain there. This is exit 313. That's where you get off the interstate and go to Manhattan. Junction City. So nothing too wild there on the cameras at this point. To the north, though, around St. George, there's that camera that either got spun around or they turned it around and it's still just kind of sitting there. And in Manhattan, you can see my modest clouds there in the top part of the camera. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people sending in my modest clouds pictures from Manhattan shortly. Those are amazing. And then this ditch was really full earlier there in Manhattan from the extreme rain. And again, we have the flash flood warning continuing around Manhattan. But that storm is moving east, and we'll get into, that could get into Topeka at some point. Could be the first actual storms to get into Shawnee County at some point. And there's the video of that storm looking from the WIBW transmission site, which is just southwest of Maple Hill. So I'll be watching that as it makes its way east toward the capital city. All right, so now, that's a severe storm warning. Then down the line, the severe storm warnings that were in place for Dickinson County that has expired or been canceled, one of the two. So if we were to see something produce tornadoes, it's going to be stuff like this that's in Wabunsee County right now. That's the closest thing to it. And the stuff down here, and this is it's not building as much as it was earlier, but you can see the storm's kind of building in the same area there over Saline County, where it kind of builds there over and over again, then all heads northeast. And that's what's raining over the same areas downstream and causing the flash flooding problems that have continued. So around Manhattan, Junction City, Fort Riley, Chapman, Abilene, still seeing flash flooding issues in those areas with the runoff from the extreme rains. Manhattan right now, it's still raining in town, but it's not as heavy as it was, at least on the north side of town. The view there from the Capitol Federal Sky Cam at the Manhattan campus of Stormont Vale, the rain is not as heavy there. The rain is still heavy on the south side of town, but again, not as heavy as it was there. This is the view from Wamego Telecoms, where that's located, looking at Highway 99, and that is extremely heavy rain there in Wamego at this time. I'm going to try to look the other direction on 99 and spin the camera around there. You can see the, that's extremely heavy rain in Wamego right now. Of course, Wamego has that just amazing fireworks display on July the 4th. Hope to see you over there again this year. It's just unreal what you guys do. Boomtown is, if you haven't ever seen it, the first time you do, you will not believe it. There's the view from near Maple Hill again, the WIBW transmission site. I'm watching that storm that the only thing that has what might be spin is right there. And this is the camera from 77th and Davis Road in northwest Shawnee County. All right, I want to show you this one though. This is interesting. Near Council Grove, check out this camera. So right here from Council Grove, we're looking to the north-northwest, and what I can see there is more development. So kind of in the very middle of the shot, those are vertical towers that are developing. So there's more storms that are developing with this. They're not quite as tall as the stronger storms behind them, but that's upward motion you're looking at kind of in the middle. I'll just go step there and point it out. I don't have a telestrator. I can do it with this scene. But here, this vertical development going up on this storm, and that's looking from Council Grove. This is Council Grove Lake here. Council Grove itself is right about over there, just out of the shot. So I'm looking kind of north-northwest, and this camera is just maybe a tenth of a mile east of Council Grove, the town itself. What is that? Where is that at, Daniel?
Oh, I was looking
What state is it? I'm curious. It's Minnesota or Wisconsin. Yeah. Yeah. Daniel's looking at a tornado warning in Wisconsin, so I saw that and clearly it grabbed my attention. All right, so looking closer at this thing. Let's kind of zoom in here. And this is that Council Grove view. Just watching to see if anything hangs from these clouds. Like we had that, what I think was probably a Gustnado earlier near the Jeffrey Energy Center. And again, anytime we have a tornado watch, we're going to try to watch everything super close just in case. So the only thing that even looks like it might be a candidate to cause that kind of trouble is this thing north of Volland, very close to Interstate 70. And it does have, it's tightened up the rotation now there. Okay, so watch out. Right there on I-70. And if it was produced tornado, that would not be a strong one, but any tornado is a bad tornado. So let's see what we got going on there. All right. Why is that camera not loading? Deep Creek Road's too far. So the thing that I'm mentioning is this right here. And that's not a super strong rotation by any means, but as far as anything that's of concern of that direction, that would be the one at the moment. And the hail for that is kind of in the right place. Let's do the hail there, the one that's more updated. So we got kind of a rotation and a hail core there right on I-70. And that's going to be west of the Alma exit here, about 7, maybe 8 miles. And see if the spin's kind of in the same spot there. Yeah, it's kind of the same spot. And you know, I'm not saying that's if it is a tornado, it's not a big one. It's just has the rotation there. It's enough to watch it very closely. So we'll see if anything comes of this one. And it's hiding kind of right behind my tower, unfortunately. And I'm going to try to fight through the tower here and see if I can see it anyway. This is what I've got here. This is kind of looking to the west. So I've got, you know, the sun setting there. Obviously, it gives me kind of an idea where west is in that shot. But if I look southwest, I've got tower. If I look, you know, straight west, I've got tower. So again, that rotation's not super strong, but if there was something that, you know, could make the terrible sounds go off in here, that's going to be that. And it's more impressive now than it was a moment ago even. So let's see what we got there. All right, so on I-70. And I don't know if the outflow boundary from earlier would have shut down any risk along that or not. They haven't been dropping counties out of the tornado watch yet, so probably not. This thing still has that tag of 2-inch diameter hail as it moves over to Missouri. We have severe storm warning in Jackson County and the eastern part of Pottawatomie County till 8:30. This storm is moving back into Holton shortly here. So folks here at Banner Creek, it's not as wild as it was earlier when it looked like a hurricane for a while. Check out the velocity here in Jackson County. And I don't see anything too wild in there, and the hail certainly wasn't off the charts. No, the hail is not impressive there at all. The hail's lost its size in the last couple of minutes. That warning goes for 19 more minutes. So maybe producing a wind gust of 60, but the hail threat there is certainly doesn't show up on radar at least. And then this thing is the one that wants to get us in trouble, because you can see this kind of hooky shape right there. And if it was a different day, I'd be far more worried about that shape than I am at the moment, but I'm just kind of looking at anything that might cause trouble today. And that's going to be the candidate. If there's anything causing trouble, it's that one. It's not that far away from the radar, so 55 mile per hour motion there away from the tower. And it does have a severe storm warning with it there in Wabunsee, Gary, and southeast Riley counties. That's an update for Atchison and Donovan that just came in. All right, let's see what we've got with this, the latest in this warning. Where is that?
A new warning was for Atchison and Donovan.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like they're updating the tornado watch right now. Canceling Marshall, Nemaha, and Brown.
All right. There's a great camera here from CanDrive, KDOT, and it'd be in the perfect spot to see the storm coming in, but I can't tell if it's actually on or not. I'm going to bring it up to show you guys so you know what I'm talking about here. And it says it's west of K99 is location. There we go. So I don't see movement on the highway there. The sky looks right, but you know clearly it's a still image of some sort. So I'm kind of watching that one.
It's trying to load a video, but it's taking forever.
Great spot. You know, if this was if that thing that's spinning in Wabunsee County was actually going to produce anything, this is just a wonderful spot and a great angle to look at it. But you know, it's just looks like it's kind of stopped at some point. All right, so this is what I'm looking at there from that camera, I think, and the camera from KDOT says that it's located just west of 99. So we're somewhere in there, looking at this, you know, feature. And then our camera, the WIBW transmission tower, is a little farther to the east here. It's really just perfectly blocked by the tower it's on to keep it from seeing that storm, which sometimes happens. So I'm happy to have any camera I can get. So I'll see if I can see it maybe from another angle. There's always more than one way to do it. Let's see. So we're canceling some of the northern counties in this watch.
Yes, correct. Marshall, Nemaha, and Brown are out of the tornado watch.
Excellent. I didn't mean to show this, but I'll bring this up now. This is not. I was trying to get a different camera, but this just looks so cool. I got to show this. This is a cumulonimbus cloud looking to the west-northwest from Council Grove here. It loads. There it is. All right, so we're looking just amazing. You see the vertical development there on the left side of the shot there. That's really cool. So, you know, these storms are still powerful. And down the line here, not too far. Go back to the right here. In the middle of that, what you'll see is the fact that we're not done. This, you know, cumulonimbus here kind of spreads out like a mushroom up top. This storm's not quite as big. And this storm here, that's probably the activity that's, you know, Dickinson County, or maybe even Saline County, and that's still building vertically. So that's a storm that's still going up. It doesn't have kind of a mushy look on top. It's still got kind of that, you know, cauliflower look to it, like it's expanding. So the activity down the line of this is not falling apart. That last one there in line there is still going up. So it's had more intensification down the line. Turn kind of the right here. I'm looking more to the north. Trying to get eyes on that thing that's in the western part of Wabunsee County. I'm not going to be able to do it from there. So that's the view from the transmission tower, again kind of looking through the tower, and that's just absolutely not going to work. And I want to check out this view. This one's from 77th and 78th and Davis Road in the northwest part of Shawnee County. And I may get a look at it at least eventually when it starts to get closer to that camera. So as of right now, it's probably a little too far away, but it's amazing how far I can see with that thing when the conditions are just right. And when the sun goes down, it'll be tricky to figure out where things are going. But in between lightning flashes, you can still see. So again, as I'm mentioning, the stuff kind of down the line here, still showing development, vertical development south of Council Grove. So yeah, I can see it there. So stop this right there. Last couple of minutes here as we look. We're looking from Council Grove over here. We were looking kind of this way. So as we go the next few frames here, you'll see that storm building on the end of it. That's what we're looking at. That storm tower that wasn't quite as big as the other ones, but still going up. That's what that was. And then we can see a new warning just got issued here for parts of Dickinson and Gary counties for hail the size of ping pong balls. So this is not done with. All right, I'm still going to try to get that camera from 78th and Davis Road pointing the right direction just in case. Just in case. All right, so there's a decent hail core there, just southwest of Enterprise. That's a new thing. Just a few moments ago that was not there. And now you can see it's really matured. Again, just south of Enterprise and Abilene there in Dickinson County. And the hail core there along I-70, just kind of north of Alma. Looks pretty solid as well. Interestingly, the folks from CanDrive, or KDOT, I think they've added, they're always adding new cameras, and they don't really send an update or a press release when they add cameras. And you know, I love having cameras so I can see where storms are, obviously. So it's kind of a game I play to see when I can see new ones pop up. And today I see 2 new ones. I've seen at least 4 new ones in the last few weeks, but right here, that is the Alma exit on I-70. I found that one a few minutes ago. So that's looking west on I-70. And you can see it's got that spinner there. So, you know, a few minutes ago we saw that big rig sitting on the side of the road. So this is an updated shot, but the camera doesn't look like it's working optimally yet. And just east of the exit, there's another camera. This was not there before. I have never seen this one before. So that's a new camera. And then there's a couple of new ones. These cameras are new. This one near St. George, this was just added a couple weeks ago. It either got hit by the wind earlier, it was like 70 miles per hour in the area, or they adjusted it to see if they could see hail. And this camera over here on the southwest side of Manhattan, that's a new camera looking from K18, and that's looking west, and those are Momentous clouds you're seeing up there. So they're called Momentous clouds. So in Manhattan, looking to the east, that's what that shot is. And just while I've got you here, showing you how thrilled I am about cameras. This is a new camera, just added in the last few days, I believe, on Highway 36 and Highway 75, or just south of 36 on 75. And this camera has not been added yet, but there's an icon for it. So that's kind of stuff. I'm always looking for those. And I mean, I would love to see them fill all these in, but you know, I'd also, there's all kinds of stuff. If I could have what I wanted, I'd fill all kinds of stuff in, but those are new cameras that I've just noticed recently, and we use those to cover severe weather and let you know what's going on with the resources we have. There's heavy rain there on I-70 near K99. That's Deep Creek Road was raining heavily. There's exit 313, and then getting farther, you see the rain pooled in the middle of the road there on I-70 as well. So. Still several severe storm warnings in place. This thing going down I-70 The rotation on that's not as impressive as it was a minute ago from what I saw. Still has hail size of quarters, almost into Alma with that. So that storm goes till 8:30 for a severe storm warning for 8 more minutes. Junction City, you have hail the size of ping pong balls possible. Let's check out the hail size estimate on this one. And it is this core just south of Enterprise. That white spot is where the worst of the hail is. When I bring up the hail zone, which brings the darker blue colors, it always lags a couple of minutes behind reality. So it gives me an idea of how big the hail is. And then I go back to the updated, and the VIL is what I'm looking at, actually, the VIL. So this is, and it gives me an idea of exactly where the hail is now, whereas the hail size estimate actually goes back a few minutes in time. It takes a few minutes for it to estimate how big the hail actually is. This thing along I-70 has gotten bigger, so that's just about to go across Highway 99, and we've got some purple in there. So the hail looks like it's ping pong ball size, maybe a bit bigger, just north of I-70 there, north of Alma. So let's check out the warning on this again. And I think it says, quarter size hail. The warning goes till 8:30. So the warning will surely be extended. And we'll see if the warning mentions hail bigger than quarters at that point. It's possible that it would. And here's how it looks there now. This is the KDOT camera there, I-70 at the Alma exit. And you can see how heavy the rain is now. Load faster, come on. It's coming. There you go. So I-70 at Alma, that's a severe storm in process right now. All right. You read that just now? That statement that came in on chat?
Yes.
Is that an official thing or an unofficial thing?
Unofficial. He's been talking a lot about some of those reports around here.
Okay. All right, so this storm near Alma, that's the worst thing we have going. And this is just east of that. And just west of it. So this camera that's just west of K99 is clearly updating once in a while with images, but it looks like it's trying to make a video, and it's just giving us images once in a while. There's still images. So just east of 99, it's not raining yet, but this thing right there at Alma, the Alma exit, is extremely heavy rain. And no doubt some strong winds there as well. So let's check out where the spinny thing was on this a minute ago and see where it's located now. It's really close to the radar itself. On I-70 over here, the winds may be picking up in intensity. This bright areas of green here. See how fast it is. 58 miles per hour is not terrible. And then back to the camera there. That, again, that's at I-70 at Alma. So a lot of lightning there, obviously. But that's a severe storm warning right along the interstate now. All right, so they did update the warning out ahead of it, and they're going with $half size hail, warning for Obunsee County till 9 o'clock, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and hail up the size of $half. So that storm, if it continues doing what it's doing, that would be online or in line to hit its peak at some point. And we don't have anything on the app right now, so I'm going to record an update here and send it to the app from while we're doing this. So here we go. So this may look a little funky here when I do this, but we don't have a video recorded of the app, and I want to have something there about the storm threat and what we're up to. You turn this around and look at me, I guess. No, let's leave it. Just audio, that's fine. All right, getting just after 8:30 here, or close to 8:30, we're watching severe storms across parts of northeast Kansas. And as of now, we're watching storms get across Wabunsee County near Alma, also severe storm warnings near Junction City. Most likely the storms we have in the Alma area could bring severe storms into Shawnee County and back into Jackson County, and will continue with the tornado watch that goes until midnight for a big chunk of northeast Kansas. Again, the risk of seeing tornadoes mainly along and southeast of the storms that are already in place. We've already had reports of hail the size of tennis balls in some spots, winds gusting 60 and 70 miles per hour, and there is at least a chance of seeing some tornadoes in the area. It's a possibility, and that watch goes till midnight. The threat of storms could go as late as 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, with some of those being severe even very late. We are live streaming on WIBW.com, and of course I'll have an update tonight on 13 News at 10. Hope to see you there. All right, so the idea there is that our app, the WIBW weather app, just doesn't have something on it because we've been doing this continuously for a few hours here. So I want to at least mention the tornado watch continues until midnight. Make sure that we're letting people know what's up. All right, bear with me here. All right, so now we've got that out. So there's the storm on I-70, and right there at the Alma exit, it's not as bad as it was just a few minutes ago. So the storm has kind of moved on from that spot. The worst of it has. That's still a severe storm making its way to the east. So areas like Topeka and even up to Silver Lake and Rossville probably going to have to deal with that storm. And a hail the size of $50 is what was mentioned in the warning for this. And that's the one that had at least some spin showing up on the thing. And momentarily here, it's going to come out from around the transmission tower so I can actually get a look at it. So that's the look right now, kind of through the tower again. And Manhattan looks like they're kind of out of all this problem now. So that is, where are we at there? Here we go. This is the storm that's been did that say Shawnee State Lake? I never heard of that. Do you know where that is? Okay. Okay, so if this thing in Wabunsee County starts to misbehave, we have pretty good eyes on it. It will have to come around this tower. At some point here. But I would say that it's more likely than not that Topeka and Shawnee County will have a warning of some sort shortly. And let's see, what are these guys down here? Are these sheep or cows? This is important stuff. Cows, okay. If anybody has a cell phone of that little guy right there, let him know he should go inside. the cows, all right. They are not listening to our guidance. All right, so we are watching the storm again coming across Wabunsee County, and man, I don't like that. There's just some stuff that hangs down there. It's just kind of hanging behind the tower. So my imagination fills in what it wants to in these spots. So that doesn't mean there's something bad there. It just means that I don't have the whole picture. But here in a minute, this will come around the tower, and we'll be able to see it much better. So that is a storm coming through Wabunsee County that just kind of worries me here. And it's right over the radar right now, at least close to it. The National Weather Service radar is located right where that kind of the empty hole is in the image. So that's where the radar is actually located. And the interesting thing about the radar is you can see everything except for straight up. And you know, when you're really too close to the radar, the data, you know, it might give you a really good idea of how stuff moving right by it, but it's kind of hard to see right above it. Actually, it's impossible to see right above it. So that being too close to the radar is a bad thing. Too far is worse, but being too close to it also is a weakness. But the radar is going to have weakness somewhere. You're going to have to deal with something. It's never going to be perfect. So again, that storm's coming toward Maple Hill now, and we'll be able to have several looks at this thing. That's from Menninger Hill in Topeka. So I'll be watching this as it comes in from the west. You see the lightning from this now. I don't think my camera 77th and Davis or 70th and Davis is going to do me much good as that gets into town. It's just not going to help. At night it doesn't do as well there. So, but I have this one set up, and then I have the one set up from the transmission tower here. So we're watching from both of those. All right, then down the line here, Junction City, we still have this warning for a big part of Geary County. It goes over into Dickinson County, and that warning still for hail the size of ping pong balls. Now it looks like the worst of that is south of Junction City. The hail core there looks like it's south of Chapman as well, and a fairly rural area there, of course. Just south of Enterprise is where it was moving, and the hail does not look as big as it did. It certainly could have been the size of ping pong balls a few minutes ago, and now it looks like it's come down a bit.
So there's a report of an injury accident on I-70 near the Manhattan area, rerouting westbound traffic north onto 99.
Okay.
I should say the Riley County area.
They're routing it north on 99. Okay. I don't see anything on KDOT's cameras of that. I just saw, that's a mess. There's the heavy rain there just east of 99. And something I do notice there in that shot is these big rigs on the right all have their brake lights on, and they're trying to go west. So this may be signs of what Doug's mentioning there, of there being an accident there, and these folks are getting on, being rerouted to 99 or told they have to stop. So that might be what's going on there. I don't know that for sure, but just kind of putting two and two together, that may be what's up in that area. All right, so we have the severe storm with hail the size of ping pong balls getting into the Maple Hill area here shortly. And that area of strong wind is getting a little farther from the radar now so you can see it better. These areas of stronger wind there, and right in there is the strongest part of this. And the part that concerns me the most is if this thing is spinning right in here. And it is spinning. It's just a question of it's spinning enough to worry anybody. And of course, we are in here to just monitor that kind of stuff. So we will keep an eye on it. So I'm watching here. It's just the right of the tower. I'm trying to figure out if that's a lowering or not. Actually, right straight behind this part of the tower. And if it is, it would not be something that's necessarily impressive. That's just the area that might be spinning on this thing, if it is. So that's what I'm trying to watch here. And you know, it doesn't. I don't know. It's just hard to tell with the tower in the way there. So I don't want to scare anybody. I'm just trying to make sure that we see anything, if there's anything there at all. So again, that's near Maple Hill. It's about 5 miles southwest of the town, and that's the WIBW transmission tower is what that is. I don't think it's connected. That's not connected, is it?
It almost looks like it's weakening now.
Yeah. Yeah. The good thing is, if that is the most dangerous thing we have, then we're in pretty decent shape. Now we have severe storm warning for Shawnee County, which is not a surprise. That's about what I thought would happen with this. So they're going to go with a severe thunderstorm warning for Shawnee, Potawatomi, Wabunsee, and Jackson counties. Ping pong ball size hail, winds to 60 miles per hour. So again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning for Shawnee County. If we have breaks on TV, let me know, guys. Bridge, you guys hear me? Okay, thank you. 8:36 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm warning. A severe thunderstorm was located 4 miles southwest of St. Mary's, moving east at 35. Hazard, ping pong ball size hail, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Source, radar indicated. I hear you. Yeah, let's do a real short one. You see the accident was? Watching a severe storm warning now that's been issued that includes Shawnee County, Southwest Jackson, Potawatomi, and also Wabunsee County in this new warning. Severe storm close to Maple Hill and St. Mary's, hail the size of ping pong balls, and winds to 60 miles per hour possible with this. We've had some reports of lowering and different things with this, so don't get scared or worried here, but if you hear some rumblings about that, this is a storm people are talking about in some spots. So if we have a tornado warning, which we don't, we'll certainly let you know right away right here on the WIBW channel. So we are live streaming on WIBW.com nonstop to talk about this, but just an update really quickly about this storm. Again, ping pong ball size hail heading toward Rossville, Silver Lake, Delia. You're in the path of this well. Again, big hail and winds gusting at least 60 miles per hour. We'll have an update on 13 News at 10, if not sooner. And again, we're live streaming on WIBW.com all night long. All right, thank you. Just seen enough rumblings about this thing spinning or lowering and everything else. Not just, I'm saying that here on the live stream, but I'm just mentioned that between the private audience listening at home and us, that there have been other rumblings besides just me making it sound like that thing was getting, possibly tornadic. So I want to make sure that I just mentioned to folks that we are watching it, just in case anybody was getting, too scared. Also, right about the time that the tornado warning or the severe storm warning comes out, anybody that has a weather radio and most apps, what would have happened? I'll zoom this out even more here. Unless you have Weather Call, which that's a service we have here at WIBW.com. Any app, most apps anyway, and weather radios, when that warning was issued just now that clipped a little bit of Shawnee County, every weather radio in all of Shawnee County, in all of Wabunsee County, all of Potawatomi County, and all of Jackson County just went off in that big old area for a warning that's actually right about here. So that's something that went into my decision making right then when I went on TV and said, hey, let's go ahead and do this as a quick update. If it was some other areas, I wouldn't necessarily done that. You add just Shawnee County and Jackson County alone, that's a lot of population of people that got an alert on their phones and weather radios and every other place. So I just want to make sure that we got the word out as to what in the world that was for a pretty big audience. So it doesn't mean that it's necessarily that bad. That and also the rumblings of whether or not this thing is about to touch down. And if it was something that's about to touch down, it would not be, if this was a tornado, I'll just say it, it wouldn't be a big one. But that's something that's been kind of rumbling around. So we are watching it, and I know folks are watching with us here on social media and on WIBW.com, and just trying to kind of let you know what some of the thoughts are behind the scenes as to why we're doing stuff we do. And most of the pictures I'm seeing now coming in on WIBW.com are of momentous clouds and rainbows, so that's good. All right. Okay, so it's going to get windy here in Topeka in just a few minutes. If you are in Topeka, that's about to happen. And what we have here is this feature, which is called an outflow boundary. And what that is a shot of cooler air that kind of comes off of storms as they're losing some of their intensity. And so in the next few minutes here, that's going to arrive in the west side of Topeka and get really windy. And that's going to give some folks a little bit of excitement. So please don't worry when that happens. It is a severe thunderstorm warning. It is not worse than that. As a matter of fact, once we get the outflow boundary, that decreases the risk of seeing anything tornadic. So it's actually a good thing in this case. So just keep that in mind. The next few minutes here, if you're on the west side of town, you're going to start getting stronger winds. I'm not sure how strong they are coming in, but 60 miles per hour is the mention there on the warning, so we'll have to see if it's to that level. And the storm cloud has now gotten into position where we can kind of see it better from the transmission tower. So that's looking from the transmission tower here, which was kind of in the way. So if there was something really bad there, you'd be able to see it. But what I can see actually is the bottom side of a shelf cloud. That's what it looks like to me there. Probably what that is. So that's what's moving into Topeka shortly here. That camera 70th and Davis is not going to be able to see this. There's the camera from Menninger Hill on the west side of Topeka. You see the lightning getting in here, and it's just going to get windy here in a minute. That's what's going to happen. All right, so and then downstream, this storm in Junction City more, it's just Gary County. This storm still has severe thunderstorm warning with it. And with this, you're looking at hail about the size of a quarter and winds to 60. And I'm not sure the hail is even that big now. I think it was actually trending down. Let's check out where the hail core is. It was just south of Chapman a few minutes ago. And you can see actually those colors go away. It was white there at 8:27. And then now it's actually completely gone away. So that storm just south of Junction City, that warning going for 15 more minutes, the risk of hail in that looks like it's really flopped. So this thing in the west side of Shawnee County, really getting into Rossville and Silver Lake now. Rossville's got this. The winds are very strong in Rossville now for sure. Yeah, Delia as well. The winds are really strong around Delia and Rossville. And about to get into Mayetta. So that's kind of the worst part of this. And the hail core on this, let's see if it's still got one. Yes, close to Delia, almost to Rossville. But hail the size of a quarter. Probably not ping pong ball size anymore, but it certainly could be quarter sized. And that is really the meat of the storm. The outflow boundary that's going into Topeka is really just kind of an outside edge of it. This stuff that's where Topeka's going to get kind of windy here. It's because this outflow boundary, right, that green strip, and so Topeka's not going to get some sort of damaging wind from what I see there. It's just going to get kind of gusty, but that should not be anything too wild. As I zoom out here, what I'm noticing as well is the storms are continuing to develop along the same line all the way down to McPherson County. So this, if you look for the last hour there, you think the storms are moving someplace, and they are, but they're still forming right there over McPherson County now, just at the same spot, not the same spot, but same kind of area, and then moving northeast. Training is what this is called, where the storms are going to go over the same area. But we're seeing more storms forming to the west and then making their way north and east. So the storms are not done with. The question being if we have the low-level jet kick in at some point tonight and make this get wild again. I have not been paying attention at all to stuff going to the north or south. So I'm curious to know if if those areas had significant events today or not.
There's been a lot of tornado warnings, but no tornado reports from the Storm Prediction Center have come in yet.
It's like a lot of hail in northern Iowa and southern Minnesota. There's some tornado warnings in Wisconsin. And down south, there's a big severe thunderstorm warning, I think that is. And what is that thing, just out of curiosity? 70-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball size hail. Okay, so nothing too exciting anywhere else that's gone on today so far. Because we had a moderate risk out for a big bullseye around Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin today. So certainly curious to see if anything terrible is to happen. All right, so now this thing is trying to pull in and hook again. It shouldn't be able to do this since we've got the outflow boundary out ahead of it. But just as soon as I tell storms they can and can't do, they want to prove me wrong. So I will not take my eye off that. But just west northwest of town. I don't like that shape right up there, so I'll watch this just in case. And the camera at 78th and Davis is locked in the rain now, just extreme rain there at that camera. So the only thing we'll see here is once in a while it's going to flash with lightning. Well, I'm not going to see any storm structure from that thing at all. That's a new warning, right?
Yes.
Okay. New severe storm warning, and this does not include anybody south of Highway 24. So once again, every weather radio in Shawnee County and lots of apps are screeching at people. And this warning goes into the Mayetta and Hoyt areas. Hail the size of quarters or $half, winds to 60 miles per hour. So that storm is moving toward Hoyt, Mayetta. Let's see the velocity on this and see where the strongest winds might be. And it looks like there could be an area near Delia where the winds are at least 60 miles per hour. Certainly down to Rossville as well. It does concern me that it's got that hook look to it on the kind of the southeast side. The outflow boundary makes me feel better that maybe it can't do anything terrible, but that structure right there on a day like this is something that is bothersome. But the other thing here is just because it has a structure, I don't see a lot of winds going in opposite directions there. So I'm going to try looking at storm relative velocity on this. And hopefully my computer doesn't lock up again when I try to do this. It's going to severe storm warning just issued in the last few minutes here. That includes the northern part of Shawnee County. And that one is for hail the size of ping pong ball, or hail the size of $half. And winds can be 60 miles per hour is what they're mentioning with this. All right, there we go. So I want to change this over to storm relative velocity. There we go. It does not make a big difference there. Just want to see if it did give me anything different. So no, I don't see anything substantially different in that. All right, good. But that hook shape on a day like this certainly is worrisome, and the rotation on it doesn't look that impressive. However, let's go ahead and just entertain myself here with this. I'm going to look at different levels. I don't like that shape. So I'm going to tilt this up. And I'll show you, I'm kind of looking right about in here. And I'm going to tilt the radar up and just see anything exciting is going on higher up in the atmosphere. And it's got more rotation higher up than it does in the low levels. But again, that might be something that's up above the outflow boundary. It might be cutting off what kind of capabilities it has. So hopefully it just doesn't cause any troubles. But again, I'm just kind of looking and sharing with you what we would look at that might cause any sort of issues. So that dude right there is the thing that right now would be bothering me. All right, so just because I am a weather nerd, I'm going to step outside and actually look at it, because we are located on the west side of town. If you don't know where the TV station is, the old Hollywood Studios or Hollywood Theaters is, and Red Robin's still there. And when the wind is from the north, we can smell Red Robin here at the TV station. But we're located right here on the west side of town, just south of the Hollywood Theaters building that was over there. So again, I'm just kind of watching the lightning out here. It's the west-northwest of the building. And I've kind of learned over the years to actually step outside once in a while and look. I mean, if something is this close to the building, you know, and I do have a pretty good idea what it would look like if it was causing any trouble. So, and I don't expect to see a tornado over here. I don't. And even the outflow boundary hasn't arrived at the TV station yet. Our winds are almost calm here. It's not more than maybe 5 or 8 miles per hour. But the outflow boundary, from looking at the radar, looked like it should arrive here in the next couple of minutes. And yeah, it might be 20 or 30 miles per hour. It's probably not more than that. But in the northwest part of the county, up by Rossville and Silver Lake, moving into the Hoyt area and over to Meriden, the winds in those areas could easily be 60 miles per hour, maybe even a bit stronger. And again, looking to the northwest from the TV station, you know, there's certainly a base to this storm, but there's absolutely nothing in there where I would, you know, call my family and say, you know, make sure you get everybody in the shelter. I don't see anything like that. It's just kind of cool. So anyway, so if you're around Rossville, Silver Lake, I'm sure you already see the wind outside. If you're in Topeka, you can look to the northwest and see some cool lightning right now, because if you're south of Highway 24, you are not even in a severe storm warning. So if you want to look outside, you can. Just keep in mind, if you start hearing thunder, that you are supposed to go back indoors. But right now, that storm just a really cool lightning show for Topeka at this point. So Silver Lake, and this is getting over close to Hoyt at this time. Check out the velocity on this again. So Mayetta, Hoyt, right along Highway 75. Getting really windy at this point. And I'll see if I can get the camera there from KDOT on Highway 75 near Prairie Band. That's the camera that's up there. Oh yeah, there we go. So here's what it looks like right now. Load, come on. There we go. That's the camera on Highway 75, exit 150, County Road 150, near Prairie Band. And you know, see traffic getting through, but certainly right there on the highway, you can see the wind is blowing the rain sideways there. A pretty wild shot. So again, that's what it looks like on Highway 75. And you know, if you can see the big rigs are getting through, then it's probably not something that's high end. Generally, if the winds get something over 70, these guys will take a break. But you know, it's certainly windy there, no doubt. Down I-70, let's see how things look now. There's the I-70 at Alma. As Doug was mentioning earlier, the I-70 was closed at least somewhere because of a wreck, so they were directing traffic onto Highway 99. So that's I-70 at the Alma exit, and you can see police lights there. This one stopped. I believe it's going to be a law enforcement some type as well. And these cars are being guided off. I believe it's I-70. So that's traffic going which way did you say it was? It was westbound? It was near Manhattan.
Right, westbound in Riley County. Hang on,
So
I got westbound mile marker 320. And westbound traffic is being rerouted to Highway 99. Eastbound lanes remain open.
That's it right there. Okay. Okay. So if you're trying to go westbound on I-70, they will not let you. There's an accident out there. And you would get right here to the Alma exit, where law enforcement is going to tell you that you have to get off I-70. You are not allowed to keep going toward Manhattan because of that accident. So that's what's going on there now. All right, down the line here, let's see what's how these things are doing. That's the far west end of this line, and you can still see the storms forming. Just almost right on top of McPherson now is where the line of storms kind of pops up and then goes to the east. So what we'll see overnight is gradually this feature will continue making its way south, but not quickly. And we'll see if there's enough energy to keep these things severe much of the night. There certainly could be. And there's that view again on I-70 at the Alma exit. You can see how heavy the rain's coming down there. We've had flash flooding in several areas and just extremely heavy rain there. And we don't have any details about the accident. As Doug was mentioning, it's farther west. But you know, at Alma right now, the rain's coming down just really heavily. And that's where it is right there, where that camera is. I showed you is on the Highway 99 exit there on I-70. Still a severe storm warning over here in Gary County for about 2 more minutes. This says hail size of quarters. And I believe the hail was coming down in size last time we checked. And it is. So if there's any hail there right now, it is teeny. And as far as wind, the wind there doesn't look to be extreme either. So that warning for Gary County almost sure to go bye-bye in just a moment here. Doesn't mean it's the last warning. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to see more of them along this line. Now, flash flooding has also been a huge issue with this. And I'm going to go back to my flooding graphic here, and hopefully it doesn't crash my computer for the 15th time today. I know what I've done wrong. I have a couple of files in this particular graphic that are crashing it, so it's something I can fix later. And if we had tornadoes or something, I would definitely just change what I'm doing. But I'm going to bring up the flash flood warnings here for you, and there you go. So these flash flood warnings across Pottawatomie County into Riley County, Gary County, and Dickinson County. And these areas of yellow there are where you've seen as much as 4 inches of rain, and the rain's still coming down heavily in many spots. All right, so the flash flood warning continues for those areas, and the rain continues for those areas as well. It's not as heavy as it was, and the training feature looks like it's moved a little farther south. But just be extra cautious if you're going to be on the roads tonight. You know, you don't want to drive through floodwater. That's extremely dangerous. So the biggest warning we have, this storm that's in northern Shawnee County and southern Jackson County is by far the strongest thing we have going. So that storm has a severe storm warning with it. Winds to 60, hail the size of quarters possible with this. And we do have the camera from the folks that can drive, KDOT. On Highway 75. Once it loads here. And you know, the winds there might be 60 miles per hour, certainly close to it. Come on. You can do it. But again, this warning does not include anybody south of Highway 24. Oh, that lightning. That stayed light for a long time. That must have been awfully close to that camera. All right, so that's how it looks on Highway 75. County Road 150 is the cross street there, and it's right at Prairie Band Casino is what that is. And you can see all the water there and the ditches beside the highway. So that's this warning right here. Hoyt probably taking the worst of it right now. But if you're south of Highway 24, the warning does not include you. So it does not include most people that are in Topeka. It's Silver Lake's even on the very edge of this. The edge of the warning, actually, let's see, what do we got here? Rolling Hills Christian Church there. It's kind of on the edge of it. think that's the one on the hill. There's 43rd. Yeah. Yeah, this is 46th. Hunter's Ridge over there, yeah. And there's 62nd Street. So the folks in the very north edge of town are in the warning. Over toward Seaman High School is right on the edge of it, I believe. So then it gets right over here, almost to Meriden, and then it cuts off at the edge of Jefferson County. So we'll see if that severe storm warning makes it over into Jefferson County shortly. It certainly may. And as I pan out here, I'll watch the storm, see if they're still building or if they're falling apart. Really interesting structure of this one here. It's almost like it kind of broke off a piece of storm. It's really interesting, the shape of that. This, in the last couple of frames, it looked like it just kind of let go of the bigger storm it was on. It just kind of left a kind of a streak of storm there. Really unusual. We're still seeing this feature downstream here, where it's developing more in parts of Marion County down to McPherson County, and then kind of strengthening as it moves upstream, coming our way. To the north, this is in Iowa. There is a tornado warning up there in Cass County, I believe. In the town of Anita, and that is a radar indicated tornado. There's a tornado warning up here in Wisconsin, near Stratford, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll bring it up. I'm going to check out a camera here from the Cyrus Hotel in downtown Topeka. That's this view right here. That one, the lightning? Yeah. So that's the view from downtown Topeka looking north into the severe storm. Now you can see the low clouds, the lightning back there is really neat. So the severe storm warning is not in downtown, and anybody anybody south of Highway 24 is certainly not in the path of that severe storm warning. There's the view from Menninger Hill on the west side of town toward the storm. And again, the worst of it really is around Hoyt, almost to Meriden at this point. And there's almost surely be some strong wind in there. All right, 3.5 inches of rain reported in Dickinson County near Enterprise. So flash flooding still a problem with this. And I need to jump forward here and see the new computer model on this. Here we go. So this is going to be the HRRR model. I'm not sure how late in the night I took this. This is before the 5 o'clock show when I built this graphic. So I'm going to see how far. I think it starts at 7. There's 10. So yeah, this is up, not updated. It shows that line of storms developing later. That's what the storms are right now. It's showing midnight. Let's go forward here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not going to be based in what's actually going on. So I need to update that computer model and see what we got. What is that new warning? Jefferson County? All right, thank you. All right, so Jefferson County has a new severe thunderstorm warning. That's the same thing that was coming across northern Shawnee and Jackson County. What I want to see here is what the 0Z HRRR model shows. Is that the 0Z? Okay. Oh, the 1Z?
Yeah, it's not going to be the 1Z is not going to be in the system, but let me check the 0Z. So I think what's happening is it is fairly accurate on having that line of storms.
Just the timing's
somewhat
wildly off?
Well, it's the storms that are going to be pushing out by, well, I don't think it's going to be pushing out in the next hour or two, like it says. And then it develops that next line pushing through with the cold front.
It's got that line almost at midnight, kind of exactly where it is now.
Right.
So this is where for folks that are watching this at home, as we kind of figure this out between us here. The position of the storms I'm seeing there at midnight on the model lines up with where they are kind of now. The thinking was that we might see a break in storm and then it kind of reinvigorates. So there's 10 p.m. that shows this stuff that's going on right now going away. Yeah, it does show stuff now kind of go away then start again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 0Z doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
And the ones he's doing that too. Like, yeah, and just a secondary line pushing through with the cold front, but it's not as intense.
All right, so as Doug was mentioning earlier, avoid the area around mile marker 320 on I-70. As there's still an accident there that crews are working. I don't have any updates or details about it. If somebody's hurt or whatever, I don't know. I really don't know anything about it other than we were looking at traffic there on I-70 in extreme rain that was being diverted off onto Highway 99. And I can bring that up here for you again in a moment. Let's see. Go back there for me. There you go. There's I-70 at the Alma exit. So you got law enforcement there telling you that on I-70 going westbound, you got to go off the highway. You have to take 99 over here. So that's because of an accident near mile marker 320. Traffic going east toward Topeka is going just fine. If you're going west toward Manhattan on I-70, they're going to tell you to get off the road at the Alma exit. So if you have any plan to drive that direction, either use 24 or just don't. But right now there's some sort of accident there at 320 that you need to go around. All right, so there's the storm in Jefferson County. This is for hail a size of $0.5, wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. We'll check out the velocity on here. And we haven't had anything, we have had no tornado warnings other than the Dickinson County Doppler radar indicated tornado warning a couple of hours ago. So that's been quite a while. The thing coming across Wabunsee County did have a little spin to it. Fortunately, it did not produce a tornado. From what I could see, it didn't really get close. It was just something where I just wanted to watch it just because it was the most exciting thing out there. And in a tornado watch, you want to make sure that you're paying attention, obviously. So the storm coming into Ozaki, Valley Falls, Meriden, has winds of about 60 miles per hour, maybe some hail the size of quarters. If there is hail the size of quarters, it's going to be near Meriden at this point. It's not going to be as big as the hail we saw earlier today, when some of the hail was getting 2 inches and even larger at times. Now again, the computer models indicated that around now, between now and midnight, this whole line of storms would kind of vaporize and then reform in almost the same spot. I've got a feeling they may just continue as they are. But the low-level jet was something that could kick in and keep us going. Are you going to run for it?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Because you have to be in oh, there's a significant weather advisory. So that's the hint. Okay. The significant weather advisory will impact Montgomery. Not sure what county that is. Yeah, well, I've got my settings on this to go for the surrounding, even in Nebraska. It might be Missouri. Yeah, it's southeast Nebraska all the way to Iowa is what it is. So yeah, significant weather advisory, 55 mile per hour winds up into Nebraska. And what that means is the storms are not bad enough to produce a severe storm warning or to issue one. And of course, Doug works the morning show, which is on from 5 to 7. And he does not come in right at the beginning of the show. He has to come in and prepare. So he's going to go sleep for about 4 hours maybe, which seems like a reasonable thing.
It's only one last hour sleep I normally get.
All right, so watching the storm in Jefferson County. This, near Ozaki and Oskaloosa, is by far the most exciting thing going. Winds to 60, hail the size of quarters, or $0.5 is what they're saying with this. And I'm not sure, yeah, the outflow boundary still shows up. This area down here, probably shutting off the tornado chance for the stuff that's farther to the north. I'm going to check out the watch, and it goes till midnight. The tornado watch goes till midnight. but they cancel a lot of counties on it, so I'm going to have to rebuild this thing. There we go. There's the watch. There's the watch. And I'm going to take this and save it.
From WIBW TV,
That's me.
first alert weather update has arrived.
That guy's always waking me up. All right, so there's the tornado watch going till midnight. Several of the counties have been cropped off of this, but it continues for areas that are in storms right now and areas that have storms still on the way. That warning just now, that was from me, was mentioning the Shawnee County warning, and I'm hoping that's an update on it. So we'll see. Maybe that's an update on the thing. And it expires at 9:15. That's what it is. Okay, it's an update. The thing's being expired is what it is. All right. A lot of reports of 3 inches of rain and close to it, many spots. I'm going to see if we have any really wild hail reports. So I know we had a lot of hail earlier. Let's see, hail.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, Doug. All right, so let's go over to this. And this is an Iowa State that creates this little map. And I'm going to show it to you here. So we had hail, baseball size reported in or close to Abilene, right there, 5:45 p.m. We had hail, 7 miles southeast Clay Center, reported 2.5 inches diameter. That's close to baseball size. It's tennis ball size. That was 5:30 southeast of Clay Center, 7 miles, 2.5 inches, 3 miles west of Leonardville, 5:36. And then we get down to ping pong ball size. So nothing catastrophic there, but you know, baseball size hail in Abilene is the biggest report we had. And that's when it looked like that storm that was near Abilene might go tornadic. There were several storm chasers on that, and it looked like it had spin and lowering and all that, and it really looked like that might be the one to do it. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So the stuff near Ozaki and Valley Falls, winds to 60 and hail the size of $0.50 till possible there. The only warning we have now in northeast Kansas is Jefferson County. And I'm going to take you along a ride here looking at weather models. So here we go. We're going to look at the College of DuPage weather site. They just have a particularly good website for looking at computer models. And the HRRR is one of them we use on Supercast pretty often. So that's what I'm going to show you here when this thing comes up. So there we go. That's the College of DuPage. We'll look at the HRRR model. And this is the 0Z. So what we have right there is, that's 1Z. So this is 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Wait a minute. 7, 8, 9, 10. At 10 o'clock, it shows the storms kind of just go away. 11, nothing. Midnight, storms. So it pops up a line of storms in the same, almost the same place we have storms right now. And that's not starting over again. It really goes from storms to a few hours later, nothing, to new line of storms develops in the same spot and then moves south and eastward. So that is what we had mentioned several times could happen, is we would have a second round of activity. I'm curious to see if this stops at all. That's the supercell composite right there, which shows that by that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight, 1, 2, 3. By 3 a.m. it takes the supercell composite out of here, and continuously some tornado risk. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. And you can't rule out something spinning along that line, but it's certainly not as bad as it was. And the stuff in southeast Kansas, these deeper purples down there, are much higher risk, and they're not on a tornado watch down there. I think that's outside the area of kind of the worst of this at this point. So anyway, this computer models are still showing is this area of storms vaporizing and redeveloping. So I'm super curious to see if that really happens. If it just takes a break for 30 minutes and then pops back up in the same area, that would be amazing to see. I'm not, I don't know what to think about that, but we'll see if it actually plays out. The models are pretty good, but that's what it's almost what it was showing before, but that's the latest of the latest models. So we'll see if it really plays out that way. All right, so this thing right here still bugs me because it's still got a little pinched area in it. Let's see if it's the same rotation from earlier. It is. So the same thing was that same feature right about here, back at 8:30. Still kind of this area that was getting folks to report they were seeing rotation and different things. If you roll that forward in time, that same little pinched area going across Rossville right there at 8:40. And then it gets right there, really close to the 70th and Davis where our camera is there. Comes across Highway 75, past Meriden, past Azaki. You still have that same pinched area right there, which doesn't mean tornado. It just means there's an updraft there. But if you're looking at tornado watch, then that's the kind of stuff you have to pay attention to, obviously. So that's the area that's got my attention the most at this point. It was Oskaloosa, Winchester, McLouth. It doesn't mean take shelter. It doesn't mean run for it. It just means stay inside because you do have a severe storm warning outside. And you should stay inside while it passes by, no doubt. And, there's no tornado warning for this. There's not. It's not close to it. It's just out of everything out there, if there was something that might, that's the thing that has an outside chance of causing problems in that way, would be this guy right here. And again, that's not making me even stand up from the chair at this moment. so it's not that bad at this point. But it's a severe storm warning. So again, hail size of $0.5, winds to 60. That's bad enough. Stay inside while it passes by. Down the line here, these storms continue to form really from McPherson County. It's been that way for a couple of hours now. Let's see if this goes back 2 hours. It might. I might have even had I did 2 hours of radar here. So 2 hours of radar here, you can see these storms really forming there in the same area. It's creeping southward slightly, but in 2 hours it's gone from forming in northern McPherson County to central McPherson County. And then the storms continue to race northeast, get a bit stronger and nastier with time. And this one that's severe there in Oskaloosa, that's a storm that's been severe pretty much for several hours. It didn't just become severe in the last few minutes. It's been that way for a while. And I can actually back up here with the warning data. There you go. And you can see as you go back in time, the warning's kind of riding along with it in time. So this severe storm warning didn't just become severe in the last few minutes. That's the same thing that was severe in Gary County, then Wabaunsee County, then Shawnee and Jackson, and now it's severe in Jefferson County. So it's not a storm that's formed along the line recently. What is that? I'm getting updates from our gray stations that say LGC. What does that mean? And they both came out at the same time. So our sister stations, KWICH and KCTV, have similar apps. And I have their apps on my phone, of course, so I can see what our partners are doing. And their apps both just came with an update that said LG_C. And ours did not do that, so I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? I would think LG would be lightning. It's like lightning close, maybe. So let's see what the lightning is. I hadn't even heard thunder outside. So there's lightning right there, which is kind of close to Great Life up in the north side of town. And this is the closest rain has been to the TV station. Again, we're located just right there by the old Hollywood Theaters building. We're about right there. And that's the closest we've been to rain all day here at the TV station. A lot of lightning near Marysville and the Maple Hill, town of Maple Hill now. And this stuff is just extremely heavy rain, but none of it has severe storm warnings with it. This thing in Jefferson County still has severe storm warning until 9:30. And I tell you what, Bridge, can you guys hear me in there? Let's go ahead and end the stream now, and we'll get ready for the 10 o'clock show. Can you go tell Isaac to end the live stream too? All right, so here's what we're going to do. If you're watching this on the live stream here, we're going to cut this thing off. This thing that's in Jefferson County is definitely not producing a tornado. It may be producing winds to 60 miles per hour near Winchester, Nortonville, hail the size of a nickel. I don't think it's worse than that. Nothing along this line is producing anything that's damaging right now other than heavy rain and some lightning. So we're going to get prepared here for the 10 o'clock news. And I'll be here after the 10 o'clock news to talk about what's going on. The tornado watch goes till midnight. Computer models are showing more storms forming after midnight. So if you're in areas like Manhattan, Marysville, Clay Center, Seneca, Concordia, this is not your problem. You don't have wild severe weather popping up in those areas. If you are close to or south of these storms that are in progress right now, I'm going to go figure out on the computer models what I think will happen the rest of the night. I'm not sure if the severe weather threat continues to the south or not. Right now, this thing in Jefferson County expires in 5 minutes, and we have not seen anything high end in severe weather in a while here. I want to look at the computer models and see if we have the low-level jet stream kicking in. I want to see what the Storm Prediction Center thinks about this. And I'll give you a full update on 13 News coming up at 10 in just a little while here. And then we'll have streaming after the 10 o'clock news if anything is even close. If there's any excuse at all to go to stream, I'm going to do it. If it's moderate rain, I won't live stream, just tell you it's moderately raining, so that you can watch me try to talk about moderate rain for 2 hours and see how in the world I can describe that, in long form. But if there's any excuse at all to live stream after the 10 o'clock show, I'm going to do it. But right now we're going to take a break for a little while from the live stream and get ready for the 10 o'clock news. I do hope to see you tonight on 13 News at 10. And again, thanks for joining us here on the live stream.